I'm Mr. King Dice. I'm the gamest in the land. I never play nice. I'm the devil's right-hand man. I can't let you pass, 'cause you ain't done everything. Bring me those contracts, come on, bring them to the king. If you haven't finished your class, haven't worked assiduously, no, I cannot let you pass. Don't you mess with me. Don't mess with King Dice. Don't mess with me. Don't mess with King Dice. Don't mess with me. I'm Mr. King Dice. He just what I say. The devil has his price, and I'll make sure you pay. I don't have time to mess around, and I hope you will agree. Bring me those contracts pronto. Don't you mess with me. Don't mess with King Dice. Don't mess with me. Don't mess with King Dice. Don't mess with me.
Here's a dance you ought to do. Let me introduce to you posing. Everybody pose. Here's a dance you ought to do. Let me introduce to you posing. Everybody pose. Get a partner, then begin. Hold whatever pose you're in. Pose in. Everybody pose. Get a partner, then begin. Hold whatever pose you're in. Pose in. Everybody pose. Everybody, everybody, everybody then dance. Everybody, everybody, everybody then dance.
Funny detective go deduction.
Everybody, everybody, everybody then.
Hee hee, funny detective man go deduction dance, naruhodo. Funny detective man thinks it's funny to hang from certain places inside of buildings or inside of rooms in the most random of places. Funny detective man thinks that he could hang himself on a wall, and he successfully has done it without breaking the wall or anything off of it. So who knows? Funny detective man is a mystery to everybody. But you know, I love Funny Detective Man. I love Funny Detective Man with all my heart. And being. And body. Welcome everybody, I hope you're having a good Thursday. Oh man, it's been a long time since we've been at Great Ace Attorney. I think like 3 weeks. It's been so long. I just remember the last time that we were here for the game. We went to the apartment, I know that, and Funny Detective Man was just casually sitting there reading a book in the dark with a nice little light by his side. But I hope everybody's having a good Thursday. Now, I'm real sorry to hear about your basement. Hope you guys are able to take care of that in due time. And welcome to CB. Welcome one, welcome all. I hope you're ready for a nice, chillax kind of Thursday. Or who knows what, actually. I don't know. I feel like we're definitely going to start getting into the actual case now. And by that, I mean we're actually going to go and solve this murder. Whatever the hell happened with it. Who knows? Something about a lady dying on the street in the dark and nobody knows. One person was there. Is a mystery. Oh! Oh, that's right. There was a Kitter in here. In this mess of books. Good God. Do let me know if the audio is okay, everybody. If I'm sounding a little too loud, or if the game is a little too loud, just give me a heads up. Let me know. Gotta say, this new mic is doing wonders for my speaking levels. Because now I don't have to yell at you guys. Like, a lot of the times when I was using the old mic, I was making sure I was loud enough to be heard. So that the mic could actually pick up on me. But now, I can actually talk at a normal volume. And you know, not scream, and not bleed your ears out. Ah, there he is. My man, my love, my husband. One day. So if I'm correct here. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Alright, so we do go back to Mr. Gerideb's room. Oh yeah, because we still haven't figured out why the rug is burned down there. Oh, that's good. At least you're gonna get somebody to come over and look at it pretty soon. But I know those things can be fairly costly. Ah, yes, the man's head who looks like a croissant. Ah, yes. Also, back to voice acting. Ooh, boy, let's go.
Ah, you, Paragon! Tell me, was a detective chap, I forget his name, still hard at work down there?
Totally.
Mr. Herlock Sholmes?
Ah, yes, rings a vague bell. All that detective business isn't really my thing, I'm afraid. I was with the war, you know, soldiers and all that. We went into the business of being all stealthy.
Well, Mr. Sholmes is in his element down there, among books of all kinds, and reading who knows what.
Jolly good show. Another cup of tea, if you please, Joan. Now then, why don't you tell me what... Yag! For the umpteenth time, woman, will you watch what you're bolly well doing?
I shall be serving dinner shortly, sir.
Hmm? Ah, yes, of course. Dinner, yes. Frightfully rude of me, but I'm afraid I shall have to ask you to take your leave, if you'd be so kind.
Sure, Moon Man. Why not?
Oh, yes, of course. We are deeply grateful for all your assistance. And I do hope that your lamp doesn't burn for about the 6th time that we have seen you today, Mr. Gerideb.
Not at all, not at all. Don't get much chance to talk with young foreigners like yourselves. It's been a pleasure. Best of luck and all that. Perhaps you could see yourselves out.
And we're still not going to ask him about the rug, I see. According to Mr. Sholmes, Mr. Gerideb is hiding something. And since no other avenues of investigation seem open to us at the moment, perhaps we should do some snooping and digging. Oh, if I look over there. If I look over there. If I see him either hanging from the window or somehow climbing into the window. I mean, I'm not going to be surprised in the slightest. But still. Heyo, Chris, welcome, my man. How you doing today? You know, it's great that as soon as you see his bag pop up, as soon as you see that, you know exactly what's gonna happen. You know exactly what is going to happen. Okay. Alright. I checked that, yeah. Yeah. Let's look around here, guys. Let's see. I checked everything along the walls. Just chilling and working on art. Very nice. Very nice. Okay, yeah, looks like we checked everything here. Yeah, everything looks good. Everything looks solid. I guess we can move that way. Sir, did you follow us when we decided to leave the apartment? Or did you just want to go and climb up to the next story window all on your own? Or is there a third option that I don't know about? That somehow you just appeared here? Oh boy. Hi! What's he doing over there? And how the hell did he get in?
Mr. Sholmes?
Ho ho! Aha! We meet again, my dear fellows. Goodness gracious! When did you sneak in here? Sherlock Sholmes, sir, at your service. I told you this stream was gonna be Sherlock Holmes, and it delivers. It was gonna Sherlock Holmes, and it delivers. Good God! Whatever were you doing over by the window?
I am given to watching the evening sky as the sun sets, madame. Yet, sadly, cheerful as the room downstairs undoubtedly is, it lacks an aperture for such observation. So I took the liberty of borrowing a small corner of space by the window up here.
But sir, you need to tell us, did you use stealth or a luck of the roll in order to get up here?
Well,
keeping an eye to one's windows at dusk is the prudent thing to do in London, I'm gathering. You never know when the detective is gonna sneak in.
And the one other thing, Mr. Naruhodo.
Oh, me?
I thought perhaps you might be in need of a certain great detective's great mind.
You know, I can always use your head empty space anytime, Sholmes. Really. Wait, he's not talking about... Is he? I didn't expect to be going through that again so soon.
Oh my god, we're going to see another deduction dance. Do you mean, Mr. Sholmes?
There is a mighty secret in this modest room. I forgot that I can use my kazoo as a pipe.
My eyes see even the most trivial of trifles.
Sure.
I take it you're prepared, Mr. Naruhodo?
Let me get my legs stretched out and my arms. Here, let me just get my arms stretched out. Ugh! Yeah, if you're gonna be dancing like this again, Sholmes, you gotta let me in on a little warning. I can get a 5-minute stretch going on. Ugh. Crack the back. Crack the legs. I think so.
There is just enough for one of my greatly admired great deductions. Let us conclude the matter before dark.
Oh boy. I'm ready for this again, guys. I'm ready for this once again. Yes or no, is Herlock the ancestor of Detective Gumshoe? Have we established who the ancestor of Gumshoe really is? I know there was talk about it in past streams, but honestly, I don't think Sholmes is an ancestor of Gumshoe. Not only because it's that Gumshoe is Japanese, but I think there's something else that's going on too.
Mr. Garadeb, though it would seem you are a military man of considerably distinguished service, your standing as a landlord is most certainly not what one might call first-rate.
Oh, he's not getting 5 stars on his review.
I'm afraid, sir, that is all too clear to me. There are 2 conclusions I have been able to draw by careful observation of your living arrangements.
I beg your pardon?
The first is that even as we speak, you are concealing the presence of a ferocious beast in your care.
Wait, do you mean the cat from downstairs?
And the second is that as a result of the beast's violent rampage, you have lost something very dear to you.
Wait, are you seriously talking about the cat that you saw?
Sir!
Mr. Naruhodo, look!
Oh, the old man's broken out in a cold sweat. You know, it's burning up in here from the fire. Unbelievably, it seems Mr. Sholmes' conclusions are both spot on.
How could you possibly?
How could I possibly know? You mean to inquire? Oh, it's because I'm just that smart. The answer couldn't be simpler, sir.
You would think that Gumshoe would have access to that. You would think that Gumshoe would have a little bit more access to technology back in his days. But here's the thing. I also have to remember, Sholmes doesn't make all that. Isn't it the little girl who makes all that? She's the inventor. Makes me question if the little girl has an ancestor then. Would it be Pearl? It's probably not Pearl.
For in the dense jungle of logic and reasoning, I am the king of beasts, a mighty lion that roars across the plains. Or since we are talking about the jungle, maybe be more of a panther.
Ugh!
And I know only too well that wild beasts are not easily tamed. So,
shall we begin?
Once again, Herlock Sholmes is proud to present his Logic and Reasoning Spectacular! Or the LRS, I guess we can shorten it.
Oh boy, guys, we're getting a great deduction right off the bat. Topic 1 is the nature of the beast.
It certainly shouldn't take a great detective to see that a fearsome beast has been on the rampage of late within these 4 walls. Thus, we are faced with the question, what form might this beast take? Ah, for a man with a military breeding, your eyes are uncommonly candid. And for the shape of his head, too. Your furtive glance, Mr. Garadeb, leads us directly to the answer.
Yep.
The true nature of the beast that has run rampant here is revealed by that lion statue. Yes, though an army man, you appear unimposing at best. A fact that has fueled?
I didn't know there was 2 L's in the past form of fueled.
Your admiration for the mighty lion, the king of beasts.
What is this piffle, I ask you?
In the end, your admiration became so great, in fact, that you had a living, breathing specimen shipped from India, which you tried to keep in this very house.
What?
Yet living with such a wild beast proved more difficult than you had imagined. The chilling traces of a wild rampage are still very much in evidence.
Well!
Yet as we look around, the beast in question fails to present itself.
Dude, I'm just saying, if you had a lion, there'd be a lot more damage than there is now.
Where could this angry creature have disappeared to?
Madame?
Oh, me?
I pray you do not consider me unchivalrous, but it is plain to me with one glance in your direction.
It is?
Your dress pocket gives us a handsome clue as to the beast's current whereabouts. For protruding from it is a handbill and advertising a circus show.
Oh!
Yes, you sought to dispose of this terrifying lion, Mr. Gaddydeb.
At Batty's Circus.
A traveling show currently sojourning in a nearby park. I have observed the tents.
Hopefully, no one was dumb enough to stick their head inside the open mouth of the lion and, chomp chomp. We don't need another case like that.
You sold the savage lion, sir, to the circus troupe.
I most certainly did not.
I believe I have made my point. The fearsome beast which ran amok in this room was an Indian lion. And a simple visit to the circus now will reveal the lion prancing jubilantly through a ring of fire.
Conclusion, it's an Asiatic lion. Bravo, Mr. Sholmes, bravo. Now on to topic 2, the aftermath.
Now, Mr. Gaddydeb, it is plainly clear that you still have deep feelings for this formidable beast.
Were you trying to get rid of the kitty cat there, Mr. Gaddydeb? Because if so, I will personally have a talk with you later on.
Indeed, in that blithe pose, the distress this loss has caused you is veritably tangible. Your head weighs heavy on your shoulders, the pain you feel being revealed by that supporting arm.
I could just be tired, you loony.
Amid fits of tears, you let your beloved beast go. The strain of losing something so dear to you is clearly visible in your visage.
Nonsense, man! I simply...
But what, we must now ask ourselves, is the true cause of this pain? And we need only follow the direction of your gaze to find the answer. Yes, it is this pile of bills that has given rise to the pain you suffer. Every envelope contains another demand for payment.
Oh!
Let me activate my goggles while I'm at it for cartloads of meat, potatoes, wheat, and tea. Indeed, feeding your beloved has had a devastating impact on the financial circumstances of your household.
God, I wish I could have goggles like that though, guys. I bet you there's somebody who's selling them or has made them on Etsy, but I can only imagine what the cost of them is going to be like.
And so you had no choice but to let it go. Let it go! Can't hold it back anymore!
Yes, well...
Now, in a final fit of rage, the ferocious beast carried out one last, unimaginable attack.
Unimaginable? Ah, there's the burned carpet.
The aftermath of which can be clearly seen by observing the carpet over there. A very expensive woolen carpet, if I am not mistaken.
Oh, dearie me.
What could have caused such a destructive outburst?
It was me. I would want a destructive outburst. I couldn't stand that candle anymore.
This time, madame, I'm afraid it is you who has inadvertently revealed the truth to me. Your wandering eye has settled upon the answer. Very neatly indeed. Yes, to explain the dire state of the carpet, we need only look at that tower of cakes. Which, by the way, are they still available to eat? Because it'd be a shame for those to go to waste.
You know what I can absolutely see? I can absolutely see Sholmes being that one vine where Naruto, like, the detective comes in and he says, "This is the police, this is a murder scene." And there's the guy who's taking all these ice creams out of the fridge and the freezer, and he's just like, "Yeah, well, this is the evidence. Suck my nuts." And I totally see that being Sholmes. He comes in on a crime scene, he sees food that it can be eaten. Absolutely. I believe Sholmes will be doing that. To one-up that as well, Sholmes would eat any crime food scene evidence just to see if he could get more evidence out of eating it. That's how much of a himbo I believe Sholmes to be. Oh!
There is no creature more dangerous on this earth than a beast with an unsatiated appetite. Was it or was it not once said by a certain noblewoman, if they have no bread, let them eat cake?
We don't talk about that, Sholmes. We don't talk about that. Detective, this is a crime scene. Yeah, this is an evidence? Suck my nuts! He takes the cake with him. Oh my god, Sholmes with the comically large spoon. Absolutely. Abso-freaking-lutely. He'd have the set, actually. He'd have the set of the comically large spoon and the fork as well.
Food is at the heart of all tragedy, in fact.
Whatever do you mean?
Having tired of the taste of cake, the beast began to stalk its next prey. I'm sure I need not spell out the nature of this final act of destruction carried out by the beast. There is only one logical conclusion. Worked into a frenzy by hunger, the lion attacked and ate the carpet. The teeth marks on the carpet are a perfect match with those of a lion I once saw in India. And that, my friends, gives us our last conclusion.
Why does the detective, this is a crime scene and this is the evidence, remind me of him, Daisy Dojima?
Because him, Daisy Dojima, would also do that, CB.
It'd be more of an Adachi Dojima setup, for sure. Except Adachi won't be pulling out, he wouldn't be pulling out ice cream. He'd be pulling out the bodies and trying to stuff them in the TV.
Thus concludes Herlock Sholmes' great deduction of this beastly puzzle.
Y'all have the crowd gasping, guys. Y'all have the crowd gasping.
Arrgh! What is the matter with you, June? You're pouring scalding hot tea all over me.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Garrideb. I'm afraid I didn't notice.
My deductions can be startlingly sharp. it stands to reason that your cup runneth over. Indeed, my revelations can make people spill tears at times, too. I once made a grown woman cry, actually. Several of them.
Oh, several of them! Mr. Sholmes, sorry to butt in again, but could I make an observation?
Why, certainly, Mr. Naruhodo. What is it? Again.
Well, your deductions just now. Do you really think a lion could have fit inside a room of this size?
Oh, indeed, it is the only explanation for the facts. The terrifying truth all too often lies beyond the realms of common sense.
And let me tell you guys, there's not an amount of sense in that man's head right now as he is looking at me. You have such beautiful eyes, Mr. Sholmes, you really do. But wouldn't it be an idea to consider what lies inside the realms of common sense as well?
But if an uncaged lion had run amok in this very room, surely Mr. Garadeb and his maid would have been hurt. Or worse. Ah, that's where you are stuck. No doubt the former military man held his own against the beast using that large cannon.
Sure. I thought you said that they sold the lion to the circus.
And what about the food? Meat and potatoes are one thing. But I don't believe I have ever heard of a lion that drinks tea.
Well, Susato, I got a warning for you. There'll come a time, just you watch.
Ah, my dear Miss Susato. Sasato. Sasat. Oh. It occurs to me with some regularity that irrespective of race and breeding, whenever anyone lands on Great British soil, they are infused with a highly appropriate taste for afternoon tea.
So you're telling me that, me and Miss Susato are gonna have the insatiable desire to have afternoon tea from now on, correct?
Oh! What a glorious notion! Well then, Mr. Naruhodo, it's your turn to shine again.
I had a feeling this was coming, either way.
A slight massage. That's all Mr. Sholmes' deductions need. You can do it!
Oh, thank you for believing in me, Miss Sus.
Excellent! I've been waiting for my trusty partner in deduction to step forward, Mr. Naruhodo.
We don't even know yet whether or not this is going to help with Mr. Natsume's case. Still, uncovering the truth is always worthwhile, whatever the motivation. At least, that's what I want to believe. And hopefully it's the truth.
Let us start again. From the beginning. Herlock Sholmes' logic and reasoning spectacular.
My city now, everybody. Naruhodo City now.
It certainly shouldn't take a great detective to see that a fearsome beast has been on the rampage of late within these four walls. Thus, we are faced with the question, what form might this beast take?
Ho ho!
Ah, for a man with a military breeding, your eyes are uncommonly candid. Your furtive glance, Mr. Garadeb, leads us directly to the answer. The true nature of the beast that has run rampant here is revealed by that lion statue.
Hold it. I really didn't see the lion thing coming.
No, but if you observe Mr. Garadeb's reaction, it rather seems as though some beast did indeed run amok here in this room.
Yes, something with a very fierce nature. Oh, believe me, cats can be fierce when they want to be.
But it couldn't have been a lion transported from India.
So what was it then?
We must follow Mr. Garadeb's gaze. That will lead us to the true answer.
I see. I spied my little eye. It's definitely a mortar shell. Let's see. Mortar shells. Photograph. So I think it's definitely gotta be the photo frame.
Take that!
I think it's that. Behind the lion statue on the mantelpiece, almost deliberately hidden from view, is a photograph. Look at this photograph! Though I have yet to examine it in detail, I can assure you that it holds the answer. Because I'm employing an extremely advanced detection technique called jumping to conclusions, you see.
What spectacularly contrived logic led you to this mindless conclusion?
Oh, well, it's supposed to be a logic and reasoning spectacular, so I thought I'd contribute to the show. This is my... I thought it was my city, but no, it's still Mr. Sholmes' show. This is my show, Mr. Naruhodo. Kindly perform any peculiar experiments on your own stage. I love that. That was great. Ugh, sorry.
Well, what do we know with some certainty is that a destructive creature has been at work in this room.
And that Mr. Garadeb inadvertently looked in the direction of something that gives its identity away. Yes, if we investigate thoroughly enough, we ought to find the answer.
What did Mr. Garadeb turn to look at? It's here somewhere. We simply need to find it.
Alright, so it's not the photo. Alright, the lion statue. I am curious about that photo, though. Let's see. Okay, so there's a mortar shell. What else do we have here? What really caused the damage in this room? Is it really the mortar shell? No way! The lion statue. The lion statue. What was my examination button? Because it's definitely not X. X is present. Oh, it's the A button. That's it. Never mind. Never mind. I got it. I got it. These are shells for the cannon, are they? What a strange place to keep them.
I imagine they have some significance to Mr. Garadeb from his time in the army. Ah, of course! He mentioned a battle to us before, didn't he? Do you remember? He said that he'd been shot in the knee. Perhaps it was one of these that hit him?
If a round that size had hit his knee, there'd be nothing left of it. Or Mr. Garadeb, for that matter. Mr. Sholmes had a Persian slipper. And this man has spent shells. Perhaps it's customary in Britain to display, well, rubbish on the mantelpiece. Alright, let's check this again. Oh, what's this photograph?
It appears to be from Mr. Garadeb's wedding. He looks very happy, doesn't he?
He does, but you can't make out his bride.
No, how unfortunate. Something must have struck the glass directly over the woman's face.
I wonder what happened. Probably best not to delve too deeply there. Oh, Oh! Ooh!
This must have been when Mr. Garrideb was still in the army.
Oh, he seems to be carrying his rather stout bride effortlessly, and beaming a smile at the same time.
I suppose he was very strong in his younger years. And his beard was extremely pointy, too.
Hard to imagine now. He's as thin as a rake. Newlywed bride.
The glass is broken, so you can't see the bride's face at all.
But no amount of cracks could hide the woman's plump form.
I think powerful would be kinder than plump, Mr. Naruhodo.
Yeah, she certainly looks that. There's a lot of horsepower there. Not someone you'd want to upset, that's for sure. Oh, a brooch. Oh no, that's a wedding ring. That's a very big wedding ring, yes.
It's very large, isn't it?
Yes, that's an unusual design.
It looks like some sort of embellished sunflower.
Huh. Alright, let me back out a sec. Let's check the lion statue for a second. Well, this is the lion statue that Mr. Sholmes picked out.
Yes. I wonder. Perhaps if you did live with a lion, it would prove to be a rather sweet companion.
I think that's like a mouse trying to tell its family that the cat around the house is sweet.
I suppose it is a bit of a flight of fancy, isn't it?
Anyway, the beast we're looking for is something else. Let's have a good look around. Alright, so we got Mr. Lionhead. We got the mortar shells for some reason. I'm wondering if it's the bride. I wonder if it's the bride. Because I don't think it's Mr. Garrideb. I think it might be the bride. I'm gonna see the bride. I'm gonna see the bride. Ah! Aha! The true nature of the beast that has run rampant here is revealed by that newlywed bride.
Oh, precisely, Mr. Naruhodo. No other explanation could possibly fit.
Yes, this framed print pictures your wife, Mr. Garrideb. And while we lament the fact that her face is obscured, we can still make out her mighty arms and note the considerable horsepower they must contain. Oh! Bye, Naruto! Ooh! Naruto got lost in the void there for a hot second.
Indeed, surely any woman of such powerful constitution would be honored to be described as a beast.
Honored might be stretching a point.
Too late! The fact remains that the beast, which so clearly savaged this room, was your wife, Mr. Garrideb. The chilling traces of a wild rampage are still very much in evidence.
Well!
Yet as we look around, the beast in question fails to present itself. Where could this angry creature have disappeared to?
Madame? Spotlight's on you now, Miss Maid.
I pray you do not consider me unchivalrous, but it is plain to me with one glance in your direction.
It is?
Your dress pockets give us a handsome clue as to the beast's current whereabouts.
Oh, the poor, fragile, defenseless woman is beside herself.
Fragile, defenseless? I don't think that describes anything of the maid there. Well, I don't know about fragile, especially fragile.
Oh dear. Anyway, Mr. Sholmes is quite right. there's no sign of a Mrs. Garrideb anywhere.
But it seems there may be a clue as to her whereabouts. A clue that this maid is trying to hide. I wonder where Mr. Garrideb's wife could be. Is it the maid herself? Let's see. So we have the maid. He's looking over that way, too. Look at that mess. Ah, look at that mess. You gotta... Oh. Oh, 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 oh. Oh. She's wearing a very large ring. Look.
Oh yes, a sunflower design with some rather nice embellishments. And it's on the ring finger of her left hand, which means it's surely a wedding ring.
It looks like it's on there for life, too. I can't imagine it would slide off a finger of that size.
That's something to think, Mr. Naruhodo, not to say. Do you know Mr. Garrideb's wife in the photograph had a ring very much like this one? It was a large sunflower design as well.
Really? You have a great memory for these things. Huh. A large sunflower wedding ring. It's quite a coincidence that they have the same ring, isn't it? Oh, nice! Get yourself some good Splatoon music. Two tightly shut eyes to avoid even the chance of a giveaway glance. Pursed lips to prevent any secrets from slipping out. Rounded cheeks to deflate any abuse that might be hurled her way. Yes, this is an unnervingly powerful woman, Mrs. Sato. Much like you.
It's your turn of phrase that's unnerving, Mr. Naruhodo.
Jeez, okay. She's got an interesting back design. With her hair and everything. What if I just pull the hat off? Being like, I'm going to unmask the maid! Ba-ba-bum! Teapot.
What a charming little teapot. And it's in pristine condition. Joan has been pouring some deliciously fragrant tea from it for Mr. Garrideb, hasn't she? And also spilling it over his entire lap.
Well, not so much for Mr. Garrideb, as we heard from his screams and shouts before. As on Mr. Garrideb, wouldn't you say?
I wouldn't dream of drawing attention to it.
Sure. Let's see the pocket for a second.
That certainly does appear to be a circus handbill poking out from her pocket. Batty's Circus, currently performing shows in a park not far from here.
You don't think... Surely Mr. Garrideb didn't sell his wife to the circus? I never expected you to go that far in your thinking, Naruhodo, and yet you surprised me.
Mr. Naruhodo, how could you even think such a thing?
I was only joking, you know, hee hee ha ha, funny times, ha ha ha.
Besides, I would have gone with, do you think he fed her to his pet lion?
And here I thought I had to question Naruhodo's thinking at times, but yet again, it's a good thing I call you Sus, Atto. Sus. Especially with that line of thinking. That's somehow worse. Alright, is there anything else I can see on this woman's back? Nothing with the bow, nothing with the hair. So I believe it to be Le Wedding Ring.
Take that!
Take that! Your wedding ring gives us a handsome clue as to the beast's current whereabouts. Oh! Naruhodo Susanto and Susanto do have a single brain cell shared among them. And then whenever Sherlock Holmes comes around, it's like that brain cell is just thrown out the window. Takes a vacation. Goes away to another country for a few weeks. And then when he's gone, it comes back again inside of Susanto. Because she really is the only one who has good enough brains here.
Indeed it does! That flowery band gleaming on your finger gives you away.
Her hand looks like a little paw in the photograph, not gonna lie. It looks like a cat paw. I was a little bit confused at first when I saw it, but I was just like, oh, okay, no, that's an actual hand.
For it is identical to the one shown on the hand of Mr. Garadeb's bride in this photographic print.
In other words, you are no ordinary household maid. Oh!
No. You are Mr. Garadeb's lucky bride. You are Mrs. Garadeb herself.
Oh my word!
Well, jolly fine detecting, sir. As you rightly surmised, this is my wife, yes. My Joan. Rather let herself go, you might say, but she was a bally coco. It would appear that you don't live in the most comfortable of circumstances. After all, you are a retired army man, yet you are in the business of renting out rooms. I would assume, therefore, you have insufficient means to employ a maid. Would that be correct? It's not right, I tell you! I was second lieutenant of the 3rd Regiment. A man has his pride, don't you know? By golly, it's a sorry thing when a chap can't even afford to have a single maid in his employ.
So you make your wife do it.
Yes, here in London, one is rather judged.
You know, it'd be really funny if Sholmes just started picking up and dipping his pipe in his tea, like Garadeb is doing. Just for that extra spice with some of that extra smoke pipe in his tea.
A household cannot be considered worthy of society if it employs no staff at all. Though, in my considered opinion, such concerns about appearances are all a folly.
You mean Mr. Garadeb has his wife work as his maid?
Precisely. Am I right, Mr. Garadeb?
Now that I've finally stirred my pipe contents. Only in company, obviously. But listen here. This must remain a secret. Tip-top secret. Please. And carrots. So, how did you anger your wife is the next question. How did you anger her so much that she broke near everything in the room?
Now, Mr. Garadeb, it is plainly clear that you still have deep feelings for this formidable beast, who is standing right next to you. Indeed, in that blithe pose, the distress this loss has caused you is veritably intangible. Your head weighs heavy on your shoulders, the pain you feel revealed by that supporting arm.
Mr. Sholmes is quite something. He's still calling Mr. Garadeb's wife a beast.
Yes, as a woman, that feels rather uncomfortable. And also as a woman, you better not call me a beast as well.
But Mrs. Garadeb is standing beside her husband as we speak. In other words, he hasn't lost his beloved at all, has he?
Oh, how true!
Maybe she's a beast in another way. And that's all I'll say on that, guys. That's all I'll say on that.
So perhaps that supporting arm that seems to be propping up his head has some other significance then.
Well, according to Mr. Sholmes, Mr. Garadeb's pain is tangible, though. What could that pose of his really signify? What could it signify? Oh! Oh my! Look at that bright red mark!
Gosh, that's quite something, and clearly made by somebody's hand.
Yes, Mr. Garadeb has been slapped on the face, it seems. Hard!
I've never seen such a clearly defined mark. Whoever could have done such a thing?
Well, there's a very limited number of candidates, I'd say. And I certainly didn't see you go over there and give him a slap, Susato. Oh, a pipe. That's a very large pipe, isn't it? Yes, anyone who has something that size hanging out of his or her mouth on a regular basis is sure to have a serious chin, like Garadeb's. But what's that white binding around it all about? You know, I betcha it broke. I betcha it broke.
Mr. Garadeb certainly looks glum.
Well, according to Mr. Sholmes' deduction, that's because he's having to endure the acute pain of losing something dear to him. But we know that he hasn't lost his wife.
So that means there must be another cause for the pain he's suffering.
Lower back pain, maybe? I mean, I can understand, you're old. Being old like that sure is gonna give you some pains. Ooh. Ooh! Oh! 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 Oh my god! Guys, they're wedding rings! She has a sun, and he has a moon. That's cute. Oh, that's really, really cute. I mean, it makes sense. He's got a moon-shaped head. And while I'm at it, the way that she's dressed up as a maid, she kind of looks like a sun, too. Pokemon Sun and Moon remakes confirmed. Right here and there, guys. Right here and now. So it's definitely the slot's cheek. Ha! Your head weighs heavy on your shoulders. The pain you feel being revealed by that slapped cheek. And of course, the delivery of that impressive mark on your cheek that refuses to fade. Was you, Madame Joan Garadeb? Well, yes. Plap. You have been desperate to hide the slap mark on your cheek, sir, which is why the camera's mostly been focused on your left side this entire time. Ah! At this point, I'm going to fall out of my wheelchair. How the blazes? How did you work that out, man? Nothing escapes the notice of one trained in the art of observation, my dear fellow. That's why you haven't looked directly at us even once. Oh, he tried to tip a hat. You tried, Naruhodo. To keep your other side from view. Well, now let us proceed to the next conundrum. Why were you subjected to such a violent slap? In other words, we must ask ourselves what caused Madame Garadeb to fly into a rage. And we need only follow the direction of your gaze to find the answer. Boom! Yes, it is this pile of bills that has given rise to the pain you suffer.
Didn't Mr. Sholmes say that the bills were all for lion fodder?
Yes, but now we've established that the lion never existed. The lion is Joan Garrideb. She is the beast. The lion of the house. The lioness of the house. Which can only mean that the thing responsible for gobbling up all that food was Mr. Garrideb's wife!
Mr. Naruhodo, she's a person, not a thing!
Yes, well, she's also a person who gave her husband a mighty slap around the face. One so hard that it left a perfect hand mark, in fact.
Yes, why would a woman want to hit her husband with such force? I wonder.
For some reason, I can imagine Susato saying that so sarcastically.
Just, yes, I wonder why a woman would want to hit her husband with such force. It's not like he might be stupid or something. Or didn't pay his bills.
So let's see here. What do these pile of bills have to say to us?
Looking at all these bills, it certainly amounts to a great deal of food.
Meat and potatoes by the cartload, wasn't it? Well, looking at the two of them, you can tell immediately who eats the lion's share in this household.
Well, at least we're no longer talking about an actual lion anymore.
What about this? Ooh!
Someone must be reading this book at the moment. There's a bookmark here, look. Mr. Garrideb is clearly an avid reader.
Oh, wait a minute. Is that a kissy kissy smoochy smoochy mark I see? I don't think this is a bookmark.
Oh no, so it isn't. It's a note, written in a woman's hand. Oh, James, I love you. Yours?
Oh, someone sounds like they're cheating. Someone sounds like they're cheating. And look next to the signature here. Lip marks! Lip marks made with lipstick!
Oh, what a passionate and romantic gesture. You know, if somebody wasn't already married.
Don't get any ideas, Susato-san!
Oh dear, I'm sorry.
So this bookmark is actually a love note then. Oh ho! Oh ho! Oh ho! Ah, okay. So I can't go up, but I can't go down. Which means this is our confirmation! It's the love note! Yes, it is this love note that has given rise to the pain you suffer.
Ooh, a love note! Let me get my goggles in on this. Really, really far. Oh, James, I love you. Yours, Mary. Passionate indeed.
Even though it's 5 words, sure. Oh, you pissed her off, I see.
Perhaps the sender of this note, a certain Miss Mary, is the fly in the ointment here.
Oh, he got a second one. What? I don't know the Molly woman. You don't know her?
That note wasn't written to me.
It was just in the book. I don't know how it got there.
It was just in there, you say?
That's right, that's what I've been saying. Ah! Oh, is that why she keeps pouring hot tea on his lap? I see. A likely story.
Now listen here, Joan, old thing. I explained at the time. I bought the book at that second-hand place, and that note must already have been in there.
So, the previous owner of the book was using the note as a bookmark, you mean?
That's right, that's what I...
A likely story times 2!
For heaven's sake, woman, look at the name! It's written to James! My name, in case you've forgotten, is John...
A
exactly story times 3.
This poor man is gonna have burn marks all over his thighs. Lady, don't do this to your husband. You could do a much better way of punishing him.
Are you questioning my name now?
Jesus heck.
And there we have it. Arouse the suspicions of the female heart, and you unleash a beast with a most ferocious bite.
But you are right about that. Sholmes is right about that.
Now, in a final fit of rage, the ferocious beast carried out one last unimaginable attack.
Me going unimaginable? It's more likely than you think.
The aftermath of which can be clearly seen by observing the carpet over there.
A very expensive woolen carpet, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, dearie me, that maybe was my fault.
What could have caused such a destructive outburst? This time, madame, I'm afraid it is you who has inadvertently revealed the truth to me. Your wandering eye has set it upon the answer very neatly indeed. With a flip of the hat, I point once again to the Tower of Cakes, which still I would like to eat at some point.
But surely Mrs. Garrideb didn't eat the carpet?
No, of course not. Unless she's that kind of woman. But there doesn't seem to be any doubt that the state of disarray that this room is in is a result of her wild temper.
No, that's true. So this is the last part of Mr. Sholmes' deduction that we need to fix. We need only to follow Mr. Garrideb's gaze, and that will tell us the real answer.
All right, let's see what we can see.
Yes!
So it's not the cakes. Well, the handbill, maybe. Circus handbill?
This is an advertising handbill for the circus. Batty's Circus. It's in a nearby park.
Isn't this the same as the one we saw earlier? You know, the one that was folded up in Mrs. Garrideb's pocket?
Perhaps they're very great circus lovers?
Or unless Miss Mary is part of the circus. It couldn't be that the Hungry Lion is somehow involved again here, could it?
Oh dear, I do hope not.
I do hope not either. Okay, so the Tower of Cakes.
So many cakes.
Is that all you can think about, Susato?
Well, look at them, Mr. Naruhodo. There is a mountain of them, and they all look so delicious. I could just eat them all right now in the middle of a crime scene.
It's more of a tower than a mountain, I'd say.
It's a mountain, and it's my hope that one day, in our very homeland, I will be able to perform the tea ceremony at the foot of such a mountain.
Well, it's definitely a tower. Tower, mountain, tower, mountain, tower, mountain.
This looks like a very old candlestick, doesn't it?
Well, the base looks too small. Surely it's very unstable. It looks to me like even the slightest knock would make it topple over.
Oh dear, that would be dangerous.
Wait, take a closer look at this. There's one candle missing. Gee willikers, I wonder where it could have gone.
Yes, I didn't notice that before.
Why is that, I wonder? Why is one candle of the three missing from its holder? You could also indeed call it a mountainous tower. That could also fit the bill. Alright, anything else? Let's see. Guess not. Candlestick. Boosh! Ha! Yes, to explain the dire state of the carpet, we need only look at the candlestick.
I saw what's in front of you, Mr. Naruhodo, to say, most illuminating, my dear fellow, and of course, the only possible way out of this logical labyrinth. Yes, the remnants of a ferocious attack in which the carpet was devoured are clearly visible. Boo! Indeed they are. The scorch marks at the edge clearly give the truth away. Scorch marks? It would appear that this room was the scene of a little martial altercation. Oh! Mrs. Garrideb's mighty arm muscles left an impression not only on her husband's face, but on the entire room. The force of her strike caused a candle to fall from the Hodo. Can you imagine having the power enough and enough force that when you're slapping someone against the cheek, that force and wind knocks a lit candle over? That's goals right there. That's goals that I want to have one day. Although my hand would hurt real bad afterwards. And in seconds, the carpet was alit, and the whole corner of the room in flames. Yes, for the most ferocious beast in this world is neither a violent lion nor a vengeful woman, but fire. And in this room, that ferocious beast bared its claws and ran amok. Eloquently put, my dear fellow. So you see, there is but one conclusion here. Let's wrap it up, Naruhodo! After the sparks of martial discord flew, this room was the scene of a fire. I love the twirl they do. It's so fun. These two have real fun when they do their deduction dance. Oh, the teapot's gone. Mr. Sholmes, sir, I salute you! Oh, don't fall over! Oh, God! Oh, okay. Nice catch. Nice catch. Good job, Mrs. Garrideb. Make sure your husband doesn't break. Damn, I can't believe Naruhodo and Sholmes killed a man right then and there. And we saw it happen. It's these dashed long winter nights, you know. Nothing to do but read in front of the fire. Luckily, there's a jolly good second-hand bookshop just around the corner. Buy all my old novels there. And in the pages of one particular novel, you discovered some rather illicit material. For which your wife admonished you harshly, it seems. Don't know about admonished. Demolished might be rather closer to the mark. And Beast is most certainly a banana. Ah! Here we go again. And the carpet? Was that destroyed by fire when a candle fell on the floor? Afraid to say it was. Happened in the blink of an eye, you know. The whole place filled with smoke. Couldn't see a bally thing. I was caught between the old Styx rage and the raging flames. I don't know which side to go on. You paint a torrid picture, sir. One that would have been most entertaining. Yeah, that's sympathy for you. Thanks, Sholmes. Didn't take long for the fire to spread, of course. The bally furniture started going up as well. We've had to hide the mess behind that screen for the time being. So, what's that bookcase that you're hiding over there, huh, Garrideb? Over here, Mr. Garrideb? Well, you have nothing more to hide now, if you allow me. What's behind the curtain? Oh! Had all my favorite old novels in that case. But as soon as the fire got hold of them, the That was it. Whoosh! Up in smoke!
Gosh.
Then the wife started hurling things at me.
While there was a fire going on. Wow.
What a terrible sight it must have been. Both the fire and seeing your lovely dear wife throw things at you.
There I was, back up against the window, under heavy enemy fire. Incendiary books and coming 10 to the dozen. Worst of it is, I lost my favorite. Book called The Lion's Pride.
The Lion's Pride?
Ah, yes! Your notorious love of big cats coming through again. I assure you, the title didn't influence my choice in the slightest.
So the poor man really did lose something dear to him as a result of the ferocious beasts rampage. Put beasts as plural there, guys.
Mr. Sholmes' deductions turned out to be correct once again.
It can only be described as a great British wonder. God, I'm so sorry, Ryunosuke. You must be so tired about hearing it.
I tell you, it was total carnage. Flames everywhere and the old stick in full fettle.
Out of interest, what time of day was it?
Not sure I can remember. It was 2 days ago now. Let's see. Around 5 o'clock, I think.
So at exactly the same time, as a terrifying incident was unfolding outside your window on the street below.
Even more terrifying on the inside, I can assure you.
I mean, being trapped inside of a burning room versus being murdered on the outside, both are not good, just saying. I wouldn't want to be caught in either.
The whole of Blighty could have been flattened outside my window at that moment. And I wouldn't have noticed a dashed thing.
Oh, really?
He finally takes a drink of his tea.
What's up, you two? James?
Mr. Sholmes?
Yes, Mr. Naruhodo? What can I do for you?
Well, I think we've got to the bottom of Mr. Garrideb's situation now. But what does it have to do with Mr. Natsume's circumstances?
I can't help you there, I'm afraid.
What?
My dear fellow, if you recall, I did say as much from the outset. I warned you that although I knew the retired army man to be hiding something, I could not be sure whether his secret would prove to be of relevance or not.
I just knew you were going to say that!
Pulled your leg there, Mr. Naruhodo, didn't I? Now, Mr. Naruhodo, you mustn't lose heart.
I mean, you're laughing at me, so that kinda dampens the mood just a little more.
Bear in mind that all things fall into one of only two categories. Those relevant to the case, and those not.
That makes no sense to me.
Well, no matter. I tried my best. It is of far greater importance that you make up your mind now.
Sorry?
Visiting hours at the prison will soon be over.
Oh no, is it that time already?
If we're to accept Mr. Natsume's case, we have official paperwork to attend to.
So that's it. No more time to think.
Perhaps you'd like to betake yourselves to bidding us farewell now? After you decided to deduce us for about a half hour? I must prepare supper for Mr. Garrideb.
Oh, yes. I'm so sorry.
Thank you both very much for your time.
So Seki-san will be waiting for us. And I'm going to have to give him an answer. One way or another. Alright. Show on the road, show on the road, show on the road. We are going to the prison. It's always good when you start off with a deduction dance, guys. Back on Briar Road, out in the cold.
It's time, Mr. Naruhodo. We must hurry back to the prison.
Yes, I know. Let's hail a cab. Oh.
What's the matter?
It looks like there's something going on over there in front of the Garadeb's house. Hello? And who in the hell is this guy? Oh my god, why is he dressed like a court jester? What in the lordy name above am I looking at? Oh my god. You know what he gives me? I have not even gotten a voice from him, but he gives me rules card vibes. Already. Who in the hell? Oh boy. Okay. Alright. Yo, no, yeah. If he's reminding me of rules card, I gotta do a rules card voice. I know thee not, old man. Fall to thy prayers! Why is he a Muppet? Oh my god, he has a Muppet mouth! Oh god, this is a colorful set of characters right here, right now. What in the world? Who are you calling old man? You rum-looking niminy-piminy! Who are these? Oh my god! No, I'm definitely going for a Muppet voice with this, with that yellowhead guy. Absolutely. Oh my god, I can't get over the characters that I'm seeing. They are two distinctly different types of characters. You have Gay Jester, and then you have Grumpy Man. There are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, than are dreamed of in your philosophy. Who's this Horatio fella, eh? What are you on about?
Excuse me.
What the? Who are you now?
I'm sorry. It just looked as though there might be some problem here. And my associate here, Mr. Ryonosuke Naruhodo, is a lawyer, you see.
Lawyer? What? If I can be of any assistance, I'd be happy to help. I'm from Japan, but I have studied English law. Fine. I'll be on my way for today. You mark my words. This... What? This ain't over yet. What's the... What are you trying to do there, man? Get thee to a nunnery. Do I look like a bloomin' nun to you? Look at his face. No, look at... I can't even. You know what else he reminds me of? If you guys have seen One Piece, there's this Sanji lookalike. I forget which arc it is, but someone looks like Sanji, like, cause he's a big fan of him, and he looks so disgusting and so gross whenever he makes the facial expressions, and all I think about is him when I see this man. Good God. Oh God. The noble son versus the Nestor prince in Metopia. Who will win? Or who will go home crying? Oh, that's a good reminder there, though, CB. That's a good one, too.
I do hope you're not injured.
Oh, feisty maiden, thou art so gentle. Thank you. What was that all about? Oh, there are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, that are dreamt of in your philosophy. I'm not Horatio, either.
Forgive the inquiry, sir, but are you a lodger here? In the Garadeb residence?
I just love how he keeps his mouth open. I don't know why. Dude, it's cold outside. Keep it shut. Oh, fair Eastern maiden, thou art so right. Yes, I do dwell in this humble abode. Mr. Garadeb mentioned that he had another lodger, didn't he? And it's this guy? This must be the man. Do you happen to know the other lodger who lives on the first floor? Ah, yes, a gentleman named Natsume. Oh, more worthy a polemist in my battle of words, ne'er could there be. Sorry? Battle, did you say? Who is the stronger, Hamlet or Macbeth? Mr. Natsume and I sparred long into the night. I see. I have no idea what's going on here right now. Did these two actually spar? Or something? Spar in the form of, like, words? I don't know.
I don't fully understand, but it seems Mr. Natsume and this gentleman are acquaintances, at least.
Oh, I cannot wait to see what his name is. I cannot wait to see what his name is, and I hope I can make fun of it. So, fair maiden, so good gentlemen, I can tarry here no longer. Fare thee well. Okay, bye. Mr. Jester Man. I'm just gonna call him Jester Man from now on.
I didn't really understand him, but I think he's returned to his room.
Believe me, I didn't understand him either because boy was his outfit loud as all hell. It seems he's unaware of what's happened to Mr. Natsume, so he can't really help us. With Soseki-san and that man as lodgers, the Garadeb house is certainly full of eccentrics. Anyway, I'll go and find a carriage.
Yes, I'm sure Mr. Natsume is eagerly awaiting our return.
Let's hope we can get to the prison before visiting hours are over. Oh, yes. Yes, I'm so excited to make fun of that man's name. It's going to be such a damn good time. Hello, Natsume. Fidgety as always, I see. Hello, Soseki. Oh god, he's doing the anime eyes. Oh, it's you. You're here. You came. Locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. I can't believe you came back. I'm so touched. I could just burst.
We are so sorry to have kept you waiting, Mr. Natsume.
Oh, no. Think I want to relax. If I were a cat, I would purr with pleasure at the company of such fine compatriots. Noble, nurturing, never failing, Nipponese! Thanks for your poses. I actually miss this man and his poses. Oh, now, let's not get carried away. Oh, I quite agree. There is nothing more reassuring than the familiarity of one's native land. Sholmes, is that you? On the other hand, I freaking called it!
I freaking called it was gonna be Sholmes.
It is through friendship transcending international borders that one truly appreciates the fact. Such is my belief, at least.
It's you! The miserable, rotten spy, Sherlock Sholmes!
Mr. Sholmes, what are you doing here?
Oh, I have no intention of doing anything per se, save observing, of course.
God, you're gonna give this man a freaking heart attack being here, Sholmes. Just look at him. He was fidgety before. I bet you he's like 10 times as fidgety now.
Whatever do you mean, Mr. Sholmes? Well, having encountered some curious reading material in that gloomful room, which, by the way, Soseki-san, you really need to get some windows in that place. And having unmasked the secret identity of that eccentric pair, I decided I should drop in on my way home to see how our divested friend is faring.
Gloomful room?
At least your accommodation here offers a window, my dear fellow. In that sense, it is the superior option. I put you in the slammer just so that you can have a window to see outside, and you're not in that gloomy ass freaking room back at the Garadev's place. That's my real reasoning why I locked you up in here and called you the culprit. Anyway, I must commend you on your taste in books. My day has been a delight, and cost me not a penny.
You read my books for free! How dare you, Sherlock Sholmes!
Hey, 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 hey.
I've had it. I'm through. I'm at the end of my rope. I should never have come to Great Britain. It was a terrible mistake. Haunted by spirits and those accursed lodgings. No doubt my luck will be cursed in tomorrow's trial as well. My whole life has been damned! I am but a simple walking curse.
So about that, Soseki-san.
What are you thinking, Mr. Naruhodo?
He mentioned that once before, didn't he? That his lodgings were cursed, I mean.
And there is much truth in Mr. Mustache's words.
Mr. Mustaches. What?
Cursed is a wholly appropriate description, I would say.
For the man's lodgings, and indeed for tomorrow's trial. What's that supposed to mean? No, yeah, what is that supposed to mean? Yeah, cursed lodgings. So when you said accursed lodgings before, you were referring to your room at Mr. Garadev's house, I assume? Do you mean to say you believe the place is cursed? Is there a ghost in there?
It's been a year now since I came to Great Britain. But I'd only been in London a week before I started to notice strange feelings in myself.
Well, that didn't take long.
Everywhere I looked, there were foreign faces staring at me, laughing behind my back. I was sure people were talking about me. I started to become nervous about going outside. They were always staring at me all the time, from dawn till dusk. I'm partially dabbing now. So I shut myself away in my room. But even that didn't help. The fear didn't go away.
You must have been very lonely, having been away from your homeland for such a long time.
I've had to move a number of times. Most recently to that room on Briar Road, a week ago now.
Yeah, why did you choose there? It seems a little, inconvenient. And claustrophobic as well.
The rent is cheap. I have so little money, it appealed to me straight away. Of course, I asked why it was so affordable. The landlord just simpered and said, "The room is cursed." Oops! He quickly tried to cover his mistake, but it was too late. So I told him, "If you have something to say, then say it, but if not, don't mention it in the first place."
Yes. Well said. Well said indeed.
But it was true. It was all true.
You mean the room really is cursed then?
Ever since I moved into that windowless hellhole. Oh, my sleep has been plagued with nightmares. I awake feeling as though I'm being choked to death. And in my waking hours, people are stabbed in front of me as I walk down the street. I'm branded a killer, thrown in prison. Nobody wants to know me. I'm surrounded by scary, sinister spirits. They go bump in the night, underneath my bed, and all around my books. Oh, if only there was someone, just one person on my side. Can no one find it in his or her or their heart to believe in me? Really? No one at all?
To believe. Yes, to believe. I just gotta believe. You start doing a parappa the rappa dance. Mr. Natsume, what did you mean by what you said just now? About the trial tomorrow being cursed?
Oh no! Why are you looking so grave? You're making me nervous.
I was just getting carried away, that's all. I didn't mean anything by it. Oh, I see. That's really agitated him. You don't mean that the trial really is cursed somehow? Sholmes, please don't make him have a panic attack. I beg of you. Are you referring to the prosecutor? The Reaper of the Bailey?
The Reaper? Oh no, what do you mean? Please, tell me! Summarize it oh jeez.
Too many S words. Summarize it succinctly
in 16 salient words.
No defendant has ever survived a trial in which the Reaper stands for the prosecution ever. That's 15.
Oh my goodness, can it really be true? That was 16 words exactly.
I must have miscounted then.
Yesterday, Mr. Naruhodo successfully defended someone against the Reaper.
Ah, yes. Never forget you, you Irish pickpocketer. Not even a pickpocketer, you Irish stealer of wealth and money.
But then, after the trial was over, the defendant passed away in unusual circumstances.
Mr. McGilded.
What?
Ah, I am impressed, Miss Susato. You have an eye for detail.
Actually, the Lord Chief Justice told us.
Mr. Sholmes, surely it can't be that having failed to have the accused convicted, Lord Van Zykes killed the man himself? I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if he planned it. He seems like that type of guy.
Oh no, he couldn't have, surely.
I want to hear Sholmes' answer on that. Oh.
You have some wonderful notions.
Sorry, why did the creepy music start playing all of a sudden?
The man isn't a mass murderer. He's a court prosecutor, my dear fellow.
Oh, yes. Well, why, of course he is. He definitely doesn't kill people. At all.
Ugh! Of course he is. Then why are you trying to scare me?
It could be said, however, that the real truth about the man is even more terrifying than your hypothesis.
What? What on earth do you mean by that? Ooh boy, the Reaper!
Van Zykes is quite an exceptional man. However, in London courts of law, exceptional does not equate to winning every case without exception.
That's good! Sasaki-san looks like he's going to cry tears of joy right now. I mean, just look at those anime eyes. And his little twitching mustache and eyebrow.
As you are no doubt aware, in a British criminal trial, there is both a judge and a jury. The judge officiates based on the letter of the law, whilst the jury offers public opinion and common sense. It is an excellent system, whereby the defendant's guilt is considered from several points of view. However, public opinion in particular is somewhat easily manipulated.
Right, and I know that damn too well.
Criminals and corrupt lawyers, for that matter, can use it to their advantage. By any means at their disposal, contriving evidence, calling impostors as witnesses, and so on. By such underhand means, those who would want to are able to sway the jury. Which means that even in the light of irrefutable evidence, the prosecution can fail.
But it means the wrong verdict can be passed.
And sadly is from time to time, my dear madame. It is simply the reality of the situation.
Well, then that's a bullshit way of taking over and using the government and the law system. And that's alright. Ryunosuke calls BS on this, and I would too.
However, those indicted by Lord Van Zykes cannot escape justice. Their fate is sealed.
Oh my.
Though the adjudication may seem them leave the courtroom with their freedom, within months, they all disappear. It is most striking.
Disappear? But how?
Hey yo, Charlie, welcome to chat! By all manner of misfortunes, sir. Perhaps they are trampled under a passing carriage. Perhaps they fall into the Thames and drown. Perhaps they are suddenly overcome by a raging fever, or perhaps attacked by highwaymen.
Why does this sound like a British version of Death Note? Lord Van Zykes doesn't win. A few months later, he writes the person's name in the Death Note and the way they die. Boom. Got him! Oh, no.
All examples of the reality of events here in London, I'm afraid, Mr. Naruhodo.
Well then, when you explain it that way, Mr. Sholmes. Oh, did Honey Bun start chewing the acoustic foam? Honey, that's not bunny food. Bunnies don't eat acoustic foam. They can nibble, but they don't you eat them. Oh, it's good to know that Honey Bun's doing good though, Charlie. I hope she's adjusting well with the new environment too. I knew it. I'm
I'm dead! Dodo! Done for! Doomed! Oh, she took it off the wall. Oh my god. Well, you know, at least she was polite first. She first wanted to remove it before she started eating it. Oh my god, that's so funny though. Oh, little bun. She seems much happier here. Oh, that's great. That's great to hear though. Good little honey bun. Give her a little boop on the nose for me, if you can. Mr. Sholmes. Ah, me? Mr. Naruhodo? Pray, what can I do for you? It's about the case on the SS Burya, if you recall. The Burya. Ah, that case. The one with the snake? Well, yes. At that time, I was the suspect. But you believed in me and listened to my side of the story. And you helped us to investigate. Oh, good. Boop sent via Discord. Thank you. She's been cuddling, guess. Good. Good little bunny buns. Good little honey bun. Definitely sounds like she is a lot happier in there. She's been very, very friendly with guests as well. I did I? Interesting. What I want to know is, why? Why did you believe in me? I see. Yes. You mean... because you were a grimly dressed, shady Eastern fellow found with the victim in a locked room? Well, if you like, yes. I'm a little surprised that the answer requires an explanation, my dear fellow. It's quite simple, really. You said I didn't do it. But I could have been lying. Surely you must have had your doubts. You must have suspected me a little. You remember how freaked out she'd get when Colby came? Yeah, I do. Oh, jeez, Neb. Hey, that's why... Neb. That's what I'm here for. If you stick around. If you choose to. It's good to have people come in and just kind of have a chill time around here. Just forget about things for a while. So I really hope your situation gets a little bit better there, Neb. And I hope I'm providing you with some good entertainment in the meantime as well. I am so eager to get into the trial, though, I gotta say. I'm so eager to get into the trial and see who we're gonna be talking to. I think perhaps you have misunderstood. I neither recall believing in you, nor in that which you were telling me. What? You see, the only things I believe in are those I choose to believe in. What? What do you mean, Mr. Sholmes? No, yes, the class trial. I'm ready to get the class trial over with and just kill a man. I make up my own mind about what is to be believed and what is not. If I should like to believe in something, I do. The circumstances can hang as far as I am concerned. But I could have betrayed your trust. In that case, I should have made an elementary error of judgment. Nothing more. Betrayal of trust is an overused excuse, in my opinion. Meaning, whether or not one should trust another is, in the final analysis, down to oneself. It is a matter of whether or not one can trust oneself. Yes, he's right! He's right! Oh, come, student, Mr. Naruhodo, Esquire! Whether or not I can believe myself.
No! No! Kazuma, I miss you! My boy! Oh, I miss this boy so much. I miss him so much. You died too young, Kazuma! You died too young! I had a feeling he was gonna flash back and see his boyfriend again. A defense lawyer is only as good as his faith in his client. And that comes down to how much faith he has in himself. I miss you, man. Oh, I miss him. You were so right, Kazuma. I say while I hold his sword to my side. And in that moment, Mr. Naruhodo felt something on his side. Well, my dear fellows, it is time we were leaving, I believe. Already? Visiting hours are over. The guard will be here shortly to escort us out. There is a restaurant near here that serves excellent trout. Would you care to join me? Yes, a million times yes. I would definitely go and join you for dinner. I mean, yeah, we got time to join you for dinner, Mr. Sholmes. Yeah, of course we do. I wish to go and get trout with you. Can you let me out of my cell? Oh dear, there is never enough time, is there? Please, can I get some trout with you guys? Please, I hunger as well. Oh, I tried. Mr. Natsume, if you'd like, in the trial tomorrow, I'd be happy to represent you. And there's his anime eyes again. No, come student to Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. Oh god, he's gonna spill anime tears all over me, isn't he? As I said, I only experienced a British courtroom for the first time yesterday. And although the man I was representing was found not guilty, I lost sight of something crucial. Something crucial? What to believe in. The defendant, justice, or the truth. How to believe, even. But I think I finally worked it out. I decided I must believe in myself above all else. To trust my instincts. Yes, Mr. Naruhodo! He's like, I can imagine him sniffling in there. And my instincts are telling me that you, Mr. Natsume, are innocent of this crime. And it's imperative that we prove that in court. No come student, Mr. Naruhodo Esquire! I will fight for your innocence until the bitter end, with every weapon available to me, which does, yes, include the sword at my side. If I must cut hands and chop faces, I will so indeed. So I hope you'll permit me to represent you tomorrow. Oh god, prepare for the waterworks, prepare for the waterworks. As I said when we first met, I'd like to entrust my fate to someone who will listen to me, in my native tongue. Of course, Mr. Natsume. It would be fair to say, Mr. Naruhodo, that your mind was, in many ways, made up from the outset. You merely needed the events of today to fully realize it. Yes. I think you're right about that. It's been a roundabout journey, but I got there in the end. Thank you, Sun and Moon, guys. Thank you, Sun and Moon couple. A lawyer requires a sword, and a sword, and a sword, and another sword, and another sword, and then also a dagger, and then another sword, and maybe a pistol as well, and then a sword hidden underneath their hat. A lawyer requires 15 swords on him at all possible times. Miss Susato. Yes? Would you be willing to stand by my side tomorrow and help me in court?
Absolutely. As I said this morning, you may consider me your personal judicial assistant.
It's all coming together, Fan. It's all coming together. The shocking events of yesterday's trial still weigh heavily on my mind. It's time to stop looking backwards, and time to start looking forwards at the man in front of me, who is dead, but who I admire so greatly. Cosima believed in me, and Mr. Shoves believes in me now too. But man, that's two people that believed in me. I hope I don't let them down, especially Cosima, now that he's in the grave. So it's time. Time that I learned to believe in myself. Soseki-san has no one. He's all alone. So it's my job to help him. To fight his corner. To fight his battle. To wage this war. Tomorrow. In the courtroom. With all the strength I can muster. Which is very, very little physical strength, mind you all. I can't even stand a Susato takedown. How can I stand a courtroom full of, 20 people? Yes, I would like to save my progress. Boop. Yes. Alright. This is actually a time where I'm going to take a quick break, everybody. Just so I can go use the bathroom, get some more water, grab a little snack. And this is the time that I will also encourage all of you guys to do the same. Get up, stretch out a little bit, get a snack, go use the bathroom, get some water too, because remember, you are a living plant, and you need it. So once we return, we'll get right into the trial. At least I hope that's what it's going to be. So yes, I'll be about 5 minutes. Shouldn't be more, shouldn't be less. But I will be back. And I will put some tunes on you for you guys. So I'll see you soon. Chris, what are you talking about? You're definitely doing that right. I said go get a drink. You got yourself a beer. You're doing it really right, especially for a Thursday night. That's the real way to do it. Ooh. So I didn't get to mention to you guys, but in the new place that we have here, the new place around us, there's some, I don't know if they're strays or not, but I have seen literally almost every day. I want to say at least every day, but I have seen a black cat roaming around the backyard. Crossing over a cement wall every time it's like 4 p.m., 5 p.m. I've seen it walking back, and in the morning it walks the other direction. I've always seen this black cat. And today when I was eating dinner in our dining room, I looked out the window, and there was 3 of them. Not just one black cat, and not just 2. There were 3 black cats, all sitting along this little concrete edge wall in our backyard. And I don't know if they're stray or not. But I want to say it is so hard not to just go down to the garage, outside to the backyard, and try to get these cats in. Because if they're strays, I would definitely try to adopt at least one of them. I love black cats. I'm just not sure how having another cat in the house would mean for the cat that we currently have in the house already, courteous of the roommate. I can't wait for you guys to see the kitty, though. I cannot wait for you guys to see the kitty. She is such a precious little thing. All right, now we're back to it. It is finally that time, guys. It is the day of the trial. At the one, the only, the Old Bailey. Well, I never expected this. Who'd have thought we'd be back here again so soon? 2 days. 2 days.
We are on a study tour of Great Britain with the intention of learning the country's legal practices. In order to research the latest court procedures here, we need as much court experience as possible.
Well, yes, I suppose that's true, but for the person in the dock, it may well be his or her one and only time in the court. And it could be life-changing. In which case, treating it as research may seem a little crass.
Oh, when you put it like that, you're quite right.
Good morning! Hello, nervous man. Ah, Mr. Natsume. Good morning.
Oh dear, are you all right? Your eyes are terribly bloodshot.
Wait, are they? Are they? Let me see. Oh, they do have a little bit of a red tint to them. Interesting. The early bird catches the worm, as they say here in Britain.
Yes, I've heard that expression.
But I really don't want to catch a worm. So I tried desperately not to wake up early, but I was so worried I couldn't get a wink.
Ah, this man did not sleep.
And now I'm absolutely exhausted as a result.
Do all literary people take things so literally?
Thank you for putting your faith in us today, Mr. Natsume.
You gonna be okay, my man?
I wish I had 9 lives. My whole future hangs in the balance. I'm too terrified
And yet you're doing it right now. Really? Because I can feel tremors in the floor from how much you're trembling.
I can't do this. I can't take it. Although, locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire.
Yes?
I caught a glimpse of the public gallery as I walked by the courtroom. It looked like the opening night of the opera. There were so many people. I had no idea my case was such a notorious affair here in London.
Oh, neither did I. Do you know why that might be, Mr. Zato?
I'm sorry, Mr. Naruhodo, but I have no idea either. Smile.
So that all-knowing look on your face is just coincidence then, is it? No smirky smirk.
Don't hide the truth from me! It's because of the Reaper, isn't it?
Lord Van Sykes? Is that right, Mr. Sato?
I purchased as many different newspapers as I could find this morning. And yes, Lord Van Sykes is on the front page of every one.
I knew it! I think. Yes, I did know it!
Sometime after the prosecutor was dubbed the Reaper of the Bailey, he stopped appearing in court, it seems. It's been several years now, in fact, until the day before yesterday.
Yes, Inspector Grayson told us something similar, didn't he? So then what? What the heck did this guy do all this time? Was he in hiding? Or something? God, I can't wait to meet more of this freaking asshole. The trial 2 days ago marked Lord Van Sykes' return to the courtroom after a very long hiatus. The trial of Magnus McGilded. Ugh, what a harrowing experience that was. Ooh, I'm going to miss doing the Irish voice to him, though. 'Twas a fun time.
I believe that appearance made even greater waves here in the capital than today's.
But we wouldn't have realized, of course, having only just arrived in the country.
Why is the Reaper back in the Bailey so soon for what appears to be a mundane murder? That's the question the papers are asking, and they are all speculating various answers.
Mundane! It's the most significant saga of the century to some of us! You know, including me, mostly me.
Oh dear, I meant no offense, Mr. Natsume, but that is how the papers are describing it.
Well, lest we also forget the fact that it could spark an international incident. Obviously, the reappearance of this infamous prosecutor has caught people's attention. But there's another blatant similarity with the trial of 2 days ago.
Yes, I agree.
Locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire, it's you! Me? Well, I mean, I suppose it's true. I'm just a little old lawyer from Japan. Both times it is you who stands against this legendary prosecutor. It can only mean that you're friends with a Reaper! Please, I don't rub shoulders with Deathbringers! No! I've been accused of killing people like 3 times now! Why would I do that?
I'm afraid that there's really only one other explanation. It can only be another example, Mr. Naruhodo, of your uncommon bad luck.
Ha! Thanks for that, Miss Sus. Really could have used that.
Oh, this is just my luck. Why must I be represented by a man with such frail fortune? By the least lucky lawyer alive!
Well, let's not forget, before you go and point fingers at me, buddy boy, that it was you, Mr. Natsume, who asked me to represent you. You know, I could have just said no. I could have just left you in the slammer. I could have just left you there all alone by yourself. Remember that? Yeah, you remember that? Yeah, he remembers that. Yes, it's true that I'm just a student, new to London, with little in the way of experience, or skills, or luck, or housing, or money, or anything of those necessities that I need to live in the city. But I promise you this. I will fight your corner until the bitter end, and I will believe in you, Mr. Natsume.
Oh, benevolent locum student, Mr. Naruhodo Esquire.
You're not alone here with us, Mr. Natsume. Whatever happens, we will always be on your side.
Oh, benevolent non-locum assistant Miss Mikotoba Esquire.
That's a lot of mouthful of words there, Soseki.
I am in your debt forever. I shall never forget this. I shall never.
Mr. Natsume, counsel of defense. The court session is about to begin. Kindly make your way into the courtroom at once.
I'm totally not thinking about rubbing his shoulders either, too. Nah, man. Lord Van Slyke is, I think, taller than Naruhodo anyway. Alright then, Mr. Natsume, it's time. Let's go.
Yes!
Oh boy. This is it. It all comes down to this. My second appearance in a British courtroom. Excuse me. And my second trial against the Reaper. I hope you're watching over me, Kazuma, with your sword by my side as well. Because this time I won't let my faith waver. I'll believe in my client to the last. Naruhodo sends a kiss into the sky. Just like you believed in me, and always have, and always will, even in the afterlife. I believe I can do this now. I'm ready for this fight. Kazuma, I miss you so much. I miss you so much. You and your cute face. Oh boy, the 20th of February, 10 a.m. The Old Bailey courtroom. Here we go, guys. Here we go. There's our good old judge.
In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. I now call upon the counsels for the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed.
There's Mr. Dracula himself. The prosecution is fully prepared, my lord. The defense is ready, my lord. What is that I smell over there? The Nipponese are a truly fascinating breed. What the hell? Okay. Okay. Sorry, what? Lord Strongheart has told me all about you. That you are a student who arrived in London but 2 days ago. A mere amateur. Do you have a point? Being a compatriot, you feel compelled to try to help the accused, I suppose. Typical Nipponese arrogance.
Forgive me, but I do not believe arrogance is an appropriate description. I can also point out another word that you say to me, but I'd rather not do that right this moment.
Susato-san.
After all, at our previous encounter, the defendant was found to be innocent.
Ah, yes, him and his wine glass. Very true. And a most fascinating, if dark, trial it was, too. The tragic conclusion came later, of course. Here's to the acquitted, and his unfortunate violent end. Throws the glass. That just boils my britches, it does. Wait a second, I recognize some of those faces of the jury. I saw Joan in there. Huh. Thank you, counsels. I see both sides are in fine fettle. Now, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, are you ready to carry out your duties here in court as impartial members of the public? You! From the last one! You never know when you might be down on your luck. But I believe in fair play for everyone. Ooh, she's a newbie. Well, I must warn you, I'm rather more ruthless than I appear. Oh my god! I know that guy too! Weren't you in the last trial as well? Oh, well, not me. What you see is what you get. I'm a peace-loving fellow. You, I know! I'm afraid to say, I think it's quite possible that the mustached foreigner did the deed. Whoa, look at this guy! Come on, what are we waiting for? No doubt he did it anyway. Santa? Oh no, that's gotta be Santa too, because the judge is Santa. Sorry, didn't quite catch that. Very well, let us proceed. Your opening statement, if you please, Lord Van Zykes. Very recently, Great Britain signed an alliance with a rising power in the Far East. The accused in the dock today is a student from that same land, a certain Mr. Soseki Natsume. And while our country has extended this foreign student the warmest of welcomes, regrettably, the kindness has not been returned. In fact, this student is accused of a most sinister act. There it goes! Of plunging a knife into the back of an innocent woman who is doing nothing but walking down the street. A knife crime? I tell you from bitter experience, those are the worst. Bloody oath they are. Just look at that shell of a complexion and staunch stature. He's one of those dreadful Japanese. Excuse you. Come on, let's get this over with. With me now, everyone. 1, 2, 3. Sorry, didn't quite catch that. Pray, forgive the discourtesy of smashing my hallowed chalice here in this great chamber, for I'm going to do it about 20 more times in the course of this game. Allow me to call the first witness to the stand. Oh boy. Very well. Bailiff, lead the inspector in, please. Oh, is it Gregson? It is Gregson. Your name and occupation, please. Yes, sir. Tobias Grayson, Detective Inspector at Scotland Yard. Would you please summarize the events of the case for the court, Inspector? The victim is thought to be a young woman in her 20s by the name of Olive Green. I beg your pardon, Inspector. Thought to be? Yes. Having been stabbed in the back by your attacker's knife, the victim fell unconscious. That was 3 days ago now, and she's been comatose ever since. What? So they don't even know who she is for sure? Comatose. I see. But her life is not in danger? Fortunately for the Eastern students, the charge will not be murder. Pray, elaborate on the details, Inspector. Sir, if I could ask everyone to look at this street map. Look at this street map! As I mentioned, the incident took place 3 days ago, at around 5 in the afternoon. It happened on the pavement running alongside Briar Road, a wide thoroughfare for horse-drawn vehicles.
It had not long since stopped snowing as the victim, Miss Green, was walking down the street. Out of the blue, she was approached from behind by the accused and stabbed in the back. Stab. Just plunge a knife, stick it in there. Luckily, the young lady's life was spared. She's currently being treated in one of the city's hospitals. But being unconscious as she is, we've been unable to take a statement from her, of course. This is the case file with everything we know about the victim so far. Thank you, Inspector. The court will accept the documents as evidence, if you please. A file containing an overview of the case and details about the victim. She was found with a knife in her back and is currently in hospital. Damn, she's comatose for 3 days. What of the weapon that was used? Sir, I have that here. It was removed from the victim's back.
Ouch! That big thing is starting to make me scared to walk down the street now.
Damn, who's got a switchblade around here, huh?
With a heavy blade like that, almost anybody would have been able to stab the poor woman. Even the scragged-looking Soseki-san, I suppose.
A common or garden jackknife, I would say. Rather nondescript. Thank you, Inspector. The court accepts the blade as evidence.
It's found lodged in the victim's back.
Oh boy. Now then, what do we know of the motive? Money or valuables, I presume?
From what we can tell by looking at the woman's possessions, it seems like she's a poor student herself. Hard to imagine she would have had anything much worth pinching, my lord.
I see. Well, in that case, are we looking at some deep-seated resentment toward the victim?
I'm afraid I couldn't say. Apart from visiting secondhand bookshops, the defendant, Mr. Natsume, doesn't appear to get out too much. At this moment in time, we haven't been able to establish any sort of connection between him and the victim.
Yes!
Yes! So why did you blame him? Also, I have a question. My hand is raised. If theft and grievance had been ruled out as the motive, what reason could Mr. Natsume possibly have had for stabbing the young woman? Yet you arrested the man in spite of that, in a totally unjustified and heavy-handed way.
Objection!
Objection, he says. Oh, good. Bye to the bottle. Look at that flick of the wrist. Boom! Look at that flick of the wrist. Boom! Damn, one flick is all it took and you smashed that bottle into space. Pray forgive the discourtesy of flinging a freshly uncorked bottle into the public gallery. Yeah, there's probably like 3 other people behind you who are drenched in wine right now, Van Zykes. They're gonna have to go change in the latrine because of you. But your words have soured its hallowed bouquet. Oh, the hand. For it is you, my learned friend, who is being heavy-handed here. What? Scotland Yard does not arrest people without good cause. That shall be beyond question. Inspector Gregson, the prosecution calls for your formal testimony. Explain to the court precisely why the constabulary came to arrest the Nipponese student.
Yes, sir. Oh boy, oh boy.
Witness testimony, Mr. Natsume's arrest.
As I said, it was 5 o'clock in the afternoon when the incident occurred, and there was an unusually light fog. Visibility was reasonably good, and there was no one else about but the victim and the accused.
I can't believe you also brought in fish and chips to a courtroom, Gregson. You really that hungry?
Out of the blue, the victim was stabbed from behind, subsequently collapsed on the pavement. The accused ran off, scattering his belongings all over the floor. Those being a number of old books he just bought. He was on his way home from a bookshop, it seems. It was just a matter of working out who the books belonged to, and we found the bloke to arrest him. Okay, okay. Old books, you say? Yes, my lord. I have a photograph here of the scene of the crime, taken immediately after the incident. I can't take this photo seriously, guys. Just the way that the lady is just, like, toppled over with the thing sticking out of her back. There's not even blood coming out. She's just there. It just looks like she took a nap. Ah, yes, I can clearly see the books to which you are referring. I will take that photographic print as evidence, please, Inspector. A large knife can be seen thrust into the victim's back. Hiya! You Nipponese are a spineless breed. Excuse me? Too cowardly to admit defeat. Denying everything despite overwhelming evidence to the contrary. Well, Forgive me, Lord Van Sykes, but the defendant is not denying everything, as you put it. What are you doing, Mrs. Sato? You're supposed to be on my side! Go on! Mr. Natsume has admitted to playing some part in the incident. Isn't that right, Mr. Naruhodo? Well, now you mention it. When we visited him in the prison yesterday, he did tell us what had all happened. I can remember like it happened yesterday. As I was walking along that accursed pavement, I could make out the sole silhouette of another ahead of me. A woman, wearing a green overcoat she was, and just as I went to overtake her, the deed was done. She suddenly let out a little scream and collapsed onto the cold, hard slabs of stone at my feet. I was terrified. I had to get away from there. So I ran as fast as my legs would carry me back to my accursed lodgings. A green overcoat? Well, that's exactly what the woman in that print is wearing. Oh my! A photographic print in full color! What will the world come up with next? Why are you here, of all people, Joan? Why are you here? The defendant has done nothing more than admit he fled the scene of a terrifying incident. That does not mean that he is guilty of the heinous crime of stabbing the woman in the back. And I slam my fist down and say there was nobody else there at the time. Just the two of them, the victim and the accused. In other words, there is nobody else who could possibly have stabbed the woman. I once again point to my hand and say, of that the accused concedes. It seems this cross-examination could prove to be pivotal, counsel. Proceed, please. Yes, my lord. Nothing for it. I have to use this cross-examination to turn the tables here. It's our only chance. Good question, Nab. Can he also prove that nobody else was there? Alright. I wanted to see... Okay, local map. Secondhand book receipt. Receipt discovered in Mr. Natsume's. Let me see here. So, your book, 17th of February, 4:45. The sum of 2 shillings tendered in receipt of the picture of Monsieur Lecaux, a meal for Gabarat, and Canterbury yearnings. Okay. Let's see. Young woman rendered unconscious following a stab wound to the back. Olive green, female, stout build, early 20s. Let's see. Pavement of Briar Road, Raleigh Beat. The victim remains unconscious. Her name was gleaned from her personal effects. Other details are unknown. Apart from the single stab wound from the large knife, no other signs of injury were observed. The assailant was seen running away by the reporting officer and was successfully arrested the following day. Alright, let's check this out.
I'm curious about the switchblade. Oh. Wow. That's not a sharp... I mean, it could be sharp underneath, but it doesn't even have a point. Can't find anything out of place. Oh, okay. So I can just... If I just click on it, it opens up. Okay. Is it the same on both sides? Alright, it is the same on both sides. Huh. Interesting. Okay, okay. And then let's examine this. I'm curious about the handle. So the handle looks like that. Let me see the handle of this. Alright, so the handles kind of do match up. In that case, might as well just start pressing the guy.
Hold it!
A light fog, you say? Well, light for London. You could see the opposite side of the street for once. Not much farther, though. That's light, isn't it? Around these parts, yes. Not something I expect a Japanese fellow like yourself to know, of course. I've read that London is famous for its fog. But in my country, people usually imagine that gives the city a rather beautiful appearance. How quaint. Yes, well, it's not something us Londoners tend to romanticize, as I expect you can appreciate. I see. At this time of year, the fog causes a large number of accidents, especially when it's heavy. Sometimes you can't even see your own hand at the end of your arm. Indeed. The other day, I was very nearly trampled by horses before I could see the carriage they were pulling. Ugh, so sad. I should definitely remember to stop, look, and listen. However, on the day that concerns us, the fog was somewhat lighter than usual. I'm not thinking about P4 vibes here. I'm definitely not thinking about Persona 4 vibes here. A fact no doubt lamented by the accused. So, okay. Alright. We'll press this too. How are you able to state that with any certainty? Quite simply, my learned friend, because that is what the witnesses to this crime have told us. Ah, yes, Inspector Gregson mentioned the witnesses yesterday, didn't he?
That's right. One of them is a policeman, I believe, from Scotland Yard.
That's correct, ma'am. Oh, no slap. You get the plap, no slap. The plap. Then we must hear their testimony. The prosecution will, of course, call them to the stand, should it be necessary. But wait a minute! At 5 o'clock in the afternoon in the middle of winter, it would have been dark already. No matter how light the fog might have been, no one could have seen. I'm unaware of the situation on your tiny island in the east. But here in the capital city of Great Britain, all main roads are illuminated in the night by gas streetlights. Ah! That would do it! The prosecution believes there would have been ample light by which to witness the crime. Quite. Here in London, for the first time in history, mankind has completely conquered the darkness. Which means we really need to hear those witness statements. If I could just get through the fog of this cross-examination, maybe we'll be able to. It seems the counsel for the defense is taking stock. Continue with your testimony, Inspector. Taking stock? Jeez. Yeah, something's fishy about the fog situation going on here, I gotta say. From behind, you say? That's right, as you can see from this print.
Yes, quite so, Inspector. The handle of the weapon is clearly protruding from the victim's back. And you say this poor woman, Miss Green, remains in a critical condition? Comatose, no less?
No less and no more. I'm afraid so, my lord, yes. She's been treating at thoughts. I was hopeful that she'd come round before the trial started so I could take a statement. But it wasn't to be.
Yes, that is indeed a pity. It would have been most illuminating to hear the victim's own account of events.
Luck is on your client's side, it seems.
Sure, yeah, luck, uh-huh.
On the contrary, my client has been exceedingly unlucky, sir. Your force of tone is seriously undermined by those disturbingly wide eyes, I'm afraid.
Stop complaining. Stop poking out my poking and pointing my big eyes out. I can't help it. That's what happens when I'm nervous.
Hold it!
Mr. Natsume's belongings?
I think you'll find it's all here and all there in the photographic print of the crime scene. Yes, the 3 books on the floor. That's right, my lord. Second-hand books they were. Irreparably damaged after falling in the snow, of course.
The accused could easily have carried all 3 books in one hand. Which means his other hand would have been free to wield a knife, for example. Oh, he's very clever, isn't he? That Lord Van Zykes asshole. What'd you call him?
What do you mean?
He's made it extremely hard for you to assert that Mr. Natsume had his hands full with his books. He's managed to close the one avenue of escape we might have had before we even knew it was there.
You mean to say that the defendant was holding his belongings as he thrust the knife into the woman's back?
Talk about multitasking, am I right?
That must be what happened, my lord, yes.
Oh, books he just bought and he was on his way home from the bookshop, it seems.
Hold it!
The defendant apparently visits a second-hand bookshop on a daily basis.
Yes, so I understand. A shop full of old English literature.
I commend the accused on the lofty subject matter of his scholarly attention.
Bloke's room was stacked floor to ceiling with those musty old books. We did find a strange man in there, but we decided to leave him alone while we were investigating.
Can you tell us more about the bookshop in question, please, Inspector?
Well, if I must, I'll have to ask you to look at the street map again, I'm afraid. The closest second-hand bookshop to the accused's lodgings is this place here, Bourbon Books. A little place on the corner of Briar Road and Mersham Street. I butchered that name for sure. As it happens, the accused is currently living in lodgings on the other side of the Briar Road at the opposite end, which means it doesn't take genius to work out the route he would have taken home. Something like this. The locals' maps information has been updated.
Nice.
Yes, I concur with your conclusion, Inspector. The defendant would certainly have passed the scene of the crime on his way home from that particular shop.
Mr. Naruhodo, I think that what the inspector just told us could turn out to be of vital importance. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I agree, yeah. The most important point that the inspector just made being... yeah, because where did he get it from? Yes! The name of the bookshop, because he got the books from your books. The bookshop's name. Inspector Gregson, may I ask you a favor?
What?
Would you kindly add the name of the bookshop to your formal testimony, please? I believe it may be of vital importance.
Maybe?
Oh, well, you know, I mean, yes. It could be a very important clue. I love his face when he goes like that. Your books? Well, what about the My Books? You know, the My Books. M-A-Y-E. It's a great bookstore. You should go check it out. It's just down the corner from the Bourbon Book Place.
Very well. Now that I can see it being of any great significance. But please revise your testimony accordingly, Inspector.
Yes, sir, my lord. Whatever you say. Could the man be any more sardonic? Bourbon Books, secondhand bookshop he apparently patronizes. The accuser ran off, scattering his belongings all over the floor. The books belong to him. We found the bloke to arrest him. Alright, let me see here. So the shop is called Bourbon Books, is it?
That's right. That's the closest secondhand bookshop to the accused's lodgings. And to get from there back to his room, he would have gone right past the very spot where the incident took place.
If I could just confirm one point, can we be sure that the defendant really did visit Bourbon Books on the day in question?
Yeah. Well, we haven't actually confirmed it, no. You haven't confirmed it? Why the devil not, Inspector?
Well,
the thing is, shopkeeper's gone on a trip, you see. Left the morning after the incident. To collect more stock, I'm told.
Or to avoid being a part of the murder trial. The supposed murder trial.
So we, haven't been able to ask the bloke if the accused had visited his shop on the day in question or not.
Well, in that case, what did the defendant himself have to say about it? Huh? No recollection. What? According to the statement he made at the time, the accused had no recollection of where he'd been. Of course he doesn't.
The bloke clearly has his head in the clouds whenever he's walking about town. He claims he just wanders into whatever bookshop he happens to be passing, and rarely notices the name. I should say the man ought to learn to look where he's going, at the very least.
Yeah, you know, be aware of his surroundings and whatnot. So, it's just as I thought then. Is something the matter? You have a very serious look on your face there, Mr. Naruhodo. Inspector, you may continue with your testimony. Alright. Let me... give it a good old savey save. Good old savey save. Good old savey save. Because I'm about to present you with something you ain't expecting to come. Alright, this should be it. This should be it.
Objection.
Boosh! Objection. If I could just stop you there, Inspector Gregson.
What is it, Sunshine? I'm a busy man, you know.
This is a receipt that we found in Mr. Natsume's room. It was issued on the day of the incident and details the purchase of 3 second-hand books.
And you found them in the accused's room, did you?
Yes, but the point is not where the receipt was found. Excuse me. But the name of the shop printed on it. Go on. You have me slightly amused, but only slightly amused. Ha! This receipt was issued from a bookshop called Your Books.
Your books? Y-O-R-E or Y-O-U-R, I presume?
No, you got it the first time there, Judge. Y-O-R-E. Yes, my lord. So Mr. Natsume did indeed purchase a number of books at a second-hand bookshop that day. However, the bookshop in question was not Bourbon Books.
What? Inspector, do you know of this other bookshop?
Yes, sir. Your Books is another second-hand bookshop not far from Bourbon Books. Why do all the bookshops end with the name Books? Why can't they be more creative? Come on, England.
It's just that... Well, it's such a small place, I didn't think the accused would have known about it.
Objection, I say. But in fact, that is the bookshop which the defendant visited on the day in question. And this receipt proves it! You know what, bravo on you, Ryunosuke. You always gotta pull out those receipts when you need it.
Objection!
Yes, for what difference does it make? Whether the man purchases musty tomes, it makes no difference in the final analysis. Objection? Yes, it so does, Van Zykes. After all, I have the street map here, if that might be of help. Oh, yeah, no, bring that over here. Suzato, bring that over here, I'm gonna draw on it. Have a look at this, please. Your books. Where is it on here? Where it is on here? If the defendant had been returning from Bourbon Books, then yes, he would almost certainly have passed the place where Miss Green was attacked. However, if we take into account the fact that he was actually at another bookshop, your books, it may very well turn out that he wouldn't have passed that location at all.
Could that be true?
My, it rather depends on where this other bookshop is. But I do declare it may be a possibility. Is that right, Mr. Lawyer, sir? What you just said? Yes, absolutely. Yes, it absolutely could be right. Yes.
Bang! Inspector Gregson, where is this Your Books establishment?
Well, obviously we looked into that. It turns out that Your Books... Ooh... is just here on the next corner of Mercian Street, going east. And the local map information has been updated. Skadoosh! And there you have it. As you can clearly see now. Oh. Hey, where'd you get that other wine bottle there, Van Zykes? My learned Nipponese friend is obviously in training to be a clown. The way he regiles us with such witticisms. To your future career in the circus! Da 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 da. Oh my God, Zykes, you're a piece of damn work is what you are. You put that glass down now or I'll put it down for you! No, 6 Susato on her! 6 Susato on her! Please, I would love to see Susato do a Susato slam. Or a, do her signature move on Van Zykes. Please, that'd be so great. I didn't think I needed to spell it out, but here we go again. If the accuser was coming home from Your Books instead of Bourbon Books, there's no doubt he still would have passed the place where the victim was stabbed.
Yes, thank you, Inspector.
Allow me to reiterate for my learned, if somewhat slow, Nipponese friend. Well, at least you didn't throw it into the fire over there, and you just crushed it in your hand. Whether the man purchases musty tomes, it makes no difference in the final analysis. Ow! My back!
As I suspected, you can't fool me, and I don't suggest you try.
What did I say? I've had enough of this now. Beg your pardon, terribly sorry, but would you mind repeating that?
Mr. Naruhodo, we mustn't give up.
What do you mean? I wasn't thinking about giving up or anything like that, no.
If the prosecution's assertion is correct, the members of the jury may very well decide that Mr. Natsume is guilty.
Oh, yeah, she's absolutely right about that. Yeah.
We must consider the assertion just put forward by the prosecution very, very carefully.
They claim Soseki-san must have passed the location of the incident on his way home from your books, but I'm thinking hard, I'm thinking real hard. I'm gonna raise an objection at that. The assertion just made by the prosecution is fundamentally flawed.
Explain yourself, counsel.
Yes, my lord. You can see what I mean on this map. When returning from your books to his lodgings, Mr. Natsume could have followed the route suggested by the prosecution. However, that isn't the only conceivable route to take between the two places. Yeah, what if he wanted to go around the long way? Huh? Why didn't you think of that? If the defendant used these streets, look what happens. Ugh! He arrives back at his lodgings without passing the location where the victim was attacked. Objection!
Talking back to a clown is a fool's errand, of course. However, I feel compelled to point out that my pointer finger says that route is what's commonly referred to as the long way around.
The long way around.
And on a cold winter's night, why would any man choose to take a longer route home?
Well, yeah, right. You take the scenic route. The scenic route's the better route. In my opinion, that's what I always do.
The answer is extremely simple. He wouldn't. In other words, the accuser took the obvious route back to his lodgings and is the obvious perpetrator of this crime. Objection! Yes, I've got it. Obviously, we must ask the man himself. Ask Mr. Natsume which route he took home. I have already informed the courts of the accuser's response to such questioning. He claims he has no recollection.
That's right. As I said, the bloke seems to spend his time outside wandering aimlessly from A to B. That day was no exception. He says he doesn't remember where he was or which route he took home.
I don't believe this. Ow, my back again.
Yeah, take your damn bow, Zykes. Take your damn bow.
I thank you, my learned friend, and suggest that we do not waste any more of the court's time by wandering aimlessly around this subject. Pray, what say you, insightful jurors?
claw his way back up.
But even if that is the case, hold it! Okay, I'm holding myself.
I agree with Lord Van Zykes. Wholeheartedly and in every way.
What? I don't believe it. Does this mean?
We members of the jury are completely convinced now. Very well. In that case, I hereby call upon all members of the jury to present your findings to the court.
Guilty.
Guilty.
Ooh.
Guilty.
Oh.
Guilty.
Uh-oh.
Guilty.
Oh, God.
Guilty.
Oh, shit. What? Okay. Okay. Well, at least they all had some voice acting there a little bit. Shit, that is 6 guilties in a row. Oh boy. Okay. Alright. Naruhodo must be sweating up a storm over there right now.
It would appear the jury's leaning is unanimous.
I failed. To the insightful members of the jury, I applaud your brave resolve. You serve Queen and country admirably. Well, damn, that was the quickest case that I've ever been a part of. Bravo! Bravo, everybody. That was only, what, a half hour? Mr. Naruhodo. I think he's dead. Try poking him or something. Hey, Ryunosuke, are you dead? Come on, come on. I don't want to steal from your pockets just yet. No. Not yet. This isn't over yet. I'm not dead just yet. I still have one last chance to sway the opinion of the jury. I have to tip the balance of those scales the other way. I have to turn this around. Somehow. Those are the eyes of Query, not yet willing to give up and die. So, I presume you intend to wield your rights again in this trial. Rights of the defense written into antiquated British law that should have been buried long ago. Call it antiquated if you will, but it's the defense's prerogative to carry out a summation examination if it so chooses.
Very well, counsel. In accordance with the letter of the law, we shall proceed with a summation examination. Are the members of the jury ready, Mr. Foreman? Of course we're ready. I'm all too familiar with that Nipponese whippersnapper and his onkus refusal to throw in his alley. Very well then. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will explain on what grounds you have determined the defendant to be guilty. Oh boy. Judicial findings. The jurors' contentions. For pity's sake, that little Nipponese oddity already admitted it himself, didn't he?
If he said that a woman in green collapsed before his eyes, why, he can only have been the victim. That man wouldn't have gone around the houses on his way back from the bookshop. Not in winter.
So the poor woman was attacked from behind, was she? Oh, how dreadful. I really don't care. Can't we just wrap this up now? I've got work to be doing. Your books. Yes, nice shop that. But urban books? No, not worth the visit. Not worth the visit, in my opinion. With only minor exceptions, the reasons for finding the defendant guilty are all too clear.
When the stabbing occurred, the only 2 people at the scene were the victim and the accused. And the accused himself has admitted to seeing the victim in her green overcoat sink to the ground before his eyes.
Furthermore, we have learned and heard from the inspector that the defendant then fled the scene. I must say, I would have ample grounds to convict this man already.
Oh dear, even the judge appears convinced of Mr. Natsume's guilt now.
Why did he have to run away like that? It did him no good. And how are we supposed to believe in some phantom attacker that nobody could see? This is impossible. How can I possibly make a case for the defense?
Mr. Naruhodo, this is no time for grumbling and mumbling. If we want to force the trial to continue...
Yeah, I know. I have to turn the tide. I must make the jurors change their minds. Somehow. Well, 4 of them at least.
Exactly. 4 of them, which is over half of them. Great. We have no choice but to forge forward.
You have the floor, counsel. Begin your summation examination. Yes, my lord.
Boop! I just need to keep this trial going somehow, whatever it takes.
Come on, Ryunosuke, you can do it. With your sword by your side, you should be fine. Hold that sword proudly, will you? Aww. Look at Gregson in the corner over there. Look at him. You munch on your little fish and chips, little man. Well, Mippi's already admitted himself, didn't he? I'm gonna start pressing now. Excuse me, but aren't you... Yes, that's right. I was in the witness stand myself just 2 days ago. Yes, I had a feeling I knew your face. Or the side of it, anyway. If I remember correctly, you're a banker, aren't you? That's right. After the gold rush down under, I came back to London to work. And it was all going swimmingly until you started fossicking around. Bruce Fairplay was a man of repute. Sorry, the name doesn't ring any bells to me. Don't think I've forgotten how you treated me the other day. You had me and that young hatter pegged as criminals. Oh, well, water under the bridge. Yeah, from 2 days ago, sure, Ryunosuke. Now, there's all sorts of rumors buzzing around, and the police have been badgering me non-stop. If I could turn back the clock... Well, anyway, I don't know about the Hatcher, but at least I'm in the clear now. And free to make up my own mind about who's guilty and who isn't. Thank goodness. Alright, maybe I might struggle to change this man's mind, given our awkward history.
Oh dear, I wonder what's become of Mr. First now.
I mean, he is over there, isn't he? Which can only have been it said that the woman in green collapsed before his eyes. Why can only have been the victim? Press!
Hold it!
Press! Oh, really? It's not the same guy? Alright then, I'll have to give him a little bit of a different voice. You're right that at the time of the incident, the defendant admits to having seen someone wearing a green overcoat walking ahead of him.
Well, quite. That's precisely my point. Clearly that someone wearing green was the victim. And clearly that funny little Nipponese man with a disturbing mustache is the culprit.
But let us not forget, madam, the defendant vehemently denies attacking the woman.
Why, of course he does. If he admits to stabbing her, his life is over. The man is obviously a liver-faced coward, honestly, claiming the woman simply collapsed before his eyes.
But if that's a lie, as you're suggesting, do you not think he would have concocted something more credible?
Oh, I really couldn't say. After all, you are foreign. Who's to say that what goes through your funny little minds?
I could tell you what's going through my funny little mind right now, but you wouldn't like it. Oh, you wouldn't like it at all. There's a lot of blue-eyed blondes in this game. Damn.
I do declare the man has already made the admission. He himself has stated that there is nobody else around. Surely the conclusion is obvious. No one else could possibly have committed this awful crime. If no one else could have done it, the accused must be the man. Really, it couldn't be more simple.
Your argument is compelling in its simplicity, I must admit.
Oh my, you are too kind, my lord.
That went well, for her. Now this guy, the man with the strange cut.
Hold it!
But you can't deny that there are other routes Mr. Natsume could have taken back from your books.
Oh, yes, like you drew on that map, you mean? What was it? Calabash Road or something?
Precisely.
But it seems to me that what counts is whether the little Japanese fellow actually went that way or not.
Well, yes, that's true.
Yes. And at the moment, there's no proof that shows he did, is there?
Well, yeah, that's true as well. Yeah, yeah.
And as I understand it, the accused himself doesn't remember which way he went, does he?
Well, yeah, that's annoyingly kind of true. Yeah, he had a point there.
Winter nights are dark and cold, so the way I see it, you'd want to get home as quickly as possible.
Well,
yeah, why is this all true? Why? So really, the only thing that makes sense is that he went home along by a road.
I'm supposed to be convincing you here.
I have given it a lot of thought, you know. I didn't just make up my mind on a whim that he did it. I mean, if there was some logical reason why he might have gone the Calabash roadway, it'd be different. I'd be happy to reconsider my position in that case. Honest, I would.
The reason why Soseki-san might have taken the longer way home.
Yes, a good reason. I don't imagine you'll be able to sway this young man's opinion without one.
A reason why he would have gone home that way. God, there's so many people here. There are so many people here. Wow, he's gray for a 46-year-old. What the heck? My goodness. Oh, I know. I'm just looking. So we're gonna go that way. I feel like he did go that way, though. He probably did. Alright. Press this woman here. Ryunosuke's just like, I've seen that face before, and I don't know why I have to see her again. Whatever is the matter, young man? You're the wife of Mr. Garadeb, aren't you? The landlord who rents Mr. Natsume's room. The master's wife? Where did you get those ideas, sir? I'm the maid. The maid, you understand. She's keeping up that charade? This is going to be awkward. Why didn't you mention this yesterday? That you've been selected for the jury in this trial, I mean. Well, I was told not to mention it to anyone until the day of the trial, you see. It was in the letter I received. The instructions were very clear, so I'm afraid I had no choice. I see. Anyway, Mr. Natsume, the defendant, takes lodging in your master's house, doesn't he? Yes, that's right. Although he's only been in a little over a week now. And in that time, surely you must have taken stock of his character. Ugh! Does Mr. Natsume look like the kind of man who would commit a crime such as this? Oh my goodness me, yes, he's just the sort. What? Spending all his time in that dark and dingy room, sporting that unscrupulous mustache. The man never speaks, and don't get me started on those shifty eyes. All the neighbors are talking about him.
I've heard them, you know. People think he must be building a bomb in them or something.
Oh dear. Poor Mr. Natsume. How could people say such things about him? He's just a harmless bookworm, nothing more.
Well, you just called him a worm, so, you know. Anyway, I better be careful about inviting this maid to speak. She's said enough damning things already. Oh boy, here comes this guy. I like this guy. This guy's a character.
Hold it!
Hey! A man's life is on the line here, sir. This will take as long as it takes. Don't get clever with me now, son. My life's on the line too, and so is my family's. Ah. The likes of you would understand, but a laborer like me can't afford to take time off. If I don't work, I don't eat. Neither do the wife and kids. Oh, I see. That must be very hard. I go to the union every morning to find out what needs doing. If you're late and the work's taken, it's tough. This time of year, there's water and gas supply pipes bursting left, right, and center. They're after cheap labor to get the roads dug up to fix it. It's a hard slog from dawn to dusk, I tell it is. So you were out digging up the roads on the day of the incident as well, were you? That's right. In fact, if I remember rightly, it was just round the corner from where it all happened. But that old bookshop it was. What? Another coincidence? That's right. Meerschaum Street it was. Meerschaum Street?
On the map, Mr. Naruhodo! Look at the map! Look at the map! There are only 3 named streets.
Juror member number 5. I need you to add that information to your formal statement, please. What's the point in that? Can't we just get this business over with now? Please, sir, it's important. To me. It's very important to me. Mostly. Fine, I'll do it then. From dawn till dusk.
Hold it!
So, if I understand correctly, you're a day laborer and you were doing road maintenance that day? That's right. Like I said, you get a lot of burst gas and water pipes underground in the middle of winter. It's the only time of year fellows like me can actually make a few bob. And I'm missing out today. And, when you say from dawn till dusk? Well, the work has to be completed within the day, see? No coaches or pedestrians can pass while it's happening. I wonder if I could trouble you, sir. To mark on this street map the exact location of the works you were carrying out? Give it here, then. Let me have a look. Right, let's see then. Here we are, Meerschaum Street. Yeah, it's just around here, like... It was a tiny dig, I tell you. We had to get through all the drifts of snow that had frozen solid. And at what sort of time did you finish the work? Well, we started in the morning and we can't have finished before gone 6, I'd say. The snow had stopped coming down, but it was long past dark for sure.
That means the road work was still going on when Miss Green was attacked at around 5 o'clock.
Road works on Meerschaum Street, huh? Yeah, I sure hope the road works. Now you, Mr. Lookalike Santa Claus. Sorry, hold it? You say, hold what? No. What I said was hold it. What I wanted to ask was, do you visit your books often? I like the old books they have in there, yes. I enjoy reading them over a nice cup of old tea. That's my daily routine, you see. Same thing every day, including the day you're all talking about. And at what time did you visit your books on the day in question? Well, I was picking out 2 books in there all afternoon, and
It would have been just before 5 that I left. That's my daily routine, you see. Same thing every day, including the day you're all talking about.
Just before 5, you say? Exactly when the victim was attacked. Are you sure about the time?
Oh yes, no mistake there. I remember it well. I'm not about to forget that day in a hurry. Not after the dreadful time I had.
What do you mean?
Well, I was walking down Calabash Road when I slipped on ice and donked my head. It's always worse after the snow stopped falling. That's when it's most slippery. Knocked myself clean up.
Wait a second. There's gears turning in my head. Hold up. The man, Mr. Natsume, said he did see somebody in a green overcoat fall. And if this man was walking along Calabash Road, he could have possibly just been seeing this guy. Huh. Wait a minute. Let me get this straight. This happened on Calabash Road?
That's right. I live in Corn Pine, you see. Heading down Calabash Road is the quickest way for me to get back from your books.
Juror number 6, I must insist that you add that information to your formal statement. It may very well be extremely significant.
Sorry, extremely sick? No, I'm quite all right now. Old people.
It sends a shiver down my spine to hear the members of the jury so convinced of Mr. Natsume's guilt. But I can't help feeling that some of their opinions are rather subjective.
Your first thought was not, oh, it was this guy. It was instead, so the woman could have just slipped and fallen. But I forgot about the knife in her back. She slipped and fell right on the knife. It happens to the worst of people. Who's leaving knives around on streets, am I right? I agree. It's the irrelevance of what some of them are saying that sends a shiver down my spine. Still, at least some of their assertions don't actually incriminate Mr. Natsume of anything. That's something.
We must use that to our advantage, Mr. Naruhodo. Cunningly.
Yeah, you're right. Let's listen to the jurors again carefully. And if any of their assertions are at odds, I'll pit them mercilessly against each other.
Yes, don't hold back. Pit them all against each other. Let them fight amongst themselves.
Infighting, infighting, infighting! Let's see. You're digging up the street from dawn till dusk. Let's see here. I slipped over that evening myself on Calabash Road. I knocked myself clean out, you know. Might as well do a little save, too, just in case. So, who do we need? Who should we pit against it? If you said, let's see here. The little Nipponese already admitted himself, didn't he? He said that woman in green collapsed before his eyes. Why can it have only been the victim? Man would have gone around the houses on his way back home from the bookshop, not in winter. Ooh, the day it happened, I was taking out Mercium Street from dawn till dusk. For some reason, hold on a sec. If he's like, let's see. I'm not going to accept anything just yet. I just want to see what their statements were. So that a woman in green collapsed before his eyes. Why it can only have been the victim. Would have gone around the houses. So the form was attacked from behind. Did happen. I slept that evening myself. You knocked myself clean out. Let me back up. Can I press again? Hold on, let's see. Oh, that's just price my point. Clearly that someone wearing green was the victim. I forget, madam. So a liver-faced coward honestly claimed the woman simply collapsed before his eyes. Oh, you are fine. Let's see. Someone else could possibly commit this awful crime. I'm getting vibes that I need to pit this woman against somebody else. That went well for her. I wouldn't have gone around the houses. Yeah, there's a way that we were able to convince him as well. Yeah, my suggestion, that's what I was thinking as well. 2 versus 6. Because then we're talking about a woman in green collapsing when the guy over there collapsed as well. That's what I think might, yeah, because it's not gonna work against him. It's not gonna work against him. So the woman was attacked from behind. Oh yeah, I did already. I made sure of that. Yeah, I'm gonna try for it. Ooh! Did I make a hit? Oh, did I make a hit? Ooh! Those 2 statements clearly show a flaw in the juror's reasoning. A flaw? What are you talking about, counsel? Well, juror number 2, juror number 6. Whatever do you mean, sir? My beard is so nice and fluffy and warm.
I think perhaps the old man didn't hear you.
Unbelievable. It's not like I was loud or anything. There is at least one fact of which we can be sure here. The bookshop receipt found in the defendant's room clearly indicates that on the day of the attack, he had been to your books and purchased a number of secondhand titles. He then returned home on foot.
But the man says he has no recollection of his return journey.
That's correct. But what he does remember is seeing someone appear in front of him on the way. And if I look at these papers here, someone in a green overcoat who suddenly collapsed on the pavement before his eyes.
Yes, we are all aware of all of this. The poor young woman who was stabbed, obviously.
Objection, he says. Can we really be sure of that, madame?
Whatever do you mean?
I'm sure you heard juror number 6's account of what happened to him that day. That same afternoon, there was somebody else apart from the victim who was wearing a green overcoat and who fell over on the icy streets in the neighborhood.
Oh my!
Oh my goodness, you mean... That's right. I'm referring, of course, to hard of hearing juror number 6.
Are you really suggesting that the person in the green overcoat whom the defendant saw collapsing in front of his eyes was the jolly old gentleman on the end of the bench here with me today?
Because sometimes I like giving her a southern accent, Chris. She seems like those doll types of girls that you see in like Oklahoma. And I mean to play Oklahoma. That is entirely possible, yes. After all, the old man has a somewhat similar build to the victim. Well, look at that! My goodness me! Sorry, you need to pee? Yes, I do need to pee, but that's not the point here. Crucially, we know precisely where the old man in the green overcoat fell. On Calabash Road. Therefore, the person who Mr. Natsume saw collapsing in front of him was in fact juror number 6. It means the defendant must have taken the long route back to his lodgings. And if that's true, then clearly, the crime scene on Briar Road where the woman was stabbed was not on his way home. Oh my! You idiot, old man! If you hadn't been so daft as to be roaming about there, we'd have boxed us off hours ago. And really, what were you thinking wearing such a befuddled coat? What did you say to me? Is it a crime for the elderly to walk the streets these days? Is it a crime to slip over on the ice? Is it a crime to keep up with the latest styles and wear a beautiful green overcoat, is it? Oh man, this guy's gonna turn to a cherry tomato in no time. Hold it, says the lady. My lord, I do hope it won't cause any inconvenience, but... You'd like to change your leaning, I presume? I do declare that I would. I should like to call for a verdict of not guilty. Oh, thank you, Miss Madam, thank you. And I would too. What? Is it a crime to change your mind, is it? Well, is it, Sonny? Oh. Well, would you look at that? And would you look at that times 2? Oh, well done, Mr. Naruhodo. That was wonderful. Well, we've managed to change a couple of minds at least. It strengthened our position, somewhat.
Yes, and it will prompt the other members of the jury to reconsider their stance as well. They'll be asking themselves if their current leanings are really right or not. Now, if we could just identify one more clue or discrepancy that would make them stop doubting Mr. Natsume, we might be able to tip the balance completely.
Yeah, that's exactly what we've got to do. And I'm the one who's got to do it, of course. Van Zykes is looking to bring this trial to an early conclusion. That's what we had to prevent. By whatever means we have at our disposal. They're trying to delay this trial because they have everything at their disposal. Ha! Thank you, counsel. On with the summation examination, please. Yes, my lord. So, why it could have been that old man in the green that the defendant saw. I have to call not guilty. It's only right. The house is on his way back from the bookshop. Nice. Okay. I was digging up Mersham Street from dawn till dusk. I'm sorry, but my overcoat's sending a cat among the pigeons. I'm leaning to not guilty to make up for it. Alrighty. Now, we just gotta find a way to pit these guys against each other. The little Nipponese oddity already admitted himself, didn't he? Man wouldn't have gone around the houses on his way back. Oh, wait. Let's see. The man wouldn't have gone around the houses on his way back from the bookhouse, not from the bookshop, not in winter. I wonder if... Alright, let me back up here for a second. I might go with... let me save here again. I think I'm gonna pit 3 and 5 together. Because they're also the ones who seem to be contradicting each other. The man wouldn't have gone around the houses on his way back from the bookshop, not in winter. And then this guy is saying he was digging up Mearsham Street from dawn till dusk. So in that case, of course he would have gone around. Yes! 2 for 2, baby! I'm on fire tonight! Those two statements are clearly at odds with one another. At odds, counsel? Explain yourself. Oh, please don't point. It wasn't me, I swear. What? I just want to get this done and dusted. Well, juror number 3. Oh, me, sir? What do you mean? Juror number 5's words just now are extremely significant. Let's take a moment to consider the implications of what's been said on our map of the local area. On the day in question, Mr. Natsume visited this bookshop to purchase a number of second-hand books. And on the same day, we now know that there were works being carried out on Mearsham Street, making it impassable. Which means that the defendant's route home could not have taken him along Mearsham Street and down Briar Road. Oh, yes, of course. What did you think, sir? Well, yes. Can't argue with that, really, can you? We must have had a good 2 yards or more of the pavement up. Every gentleman and gentlewoman that came along had to turn back and go the other way. So, as I say, I might slap my fist. The only conclusion is this. The defendant must have taken the longer route back to his lodgings. Yes, I suppose he must have. I suppose that must be right, eh? Juror number 3, you said the following. The man wouldn't have gone around the houses on his way back from the bookshop. But we see now that he had no choice. Yes! My lord, Mr. Judge, sir, if I may. Yes? I don't think in all good conscience that I can say the man's guilty now. Yes. I'd like to see this trial continue so we can get to the bottom of what really happened. That's my say. What about you, sir? Who? Me? Well, all right then. If there's a hole in the prosecution's argument, it should be filled in. That's what I say. Like I fill holes in the pavement. Bada bing, bada boo, we got 4 of them down. Well, that summation examination has concluded with a rather large shift in opinion. The yes 2, the nays 4. So the noes have it. Not guilty, they say. Which means we no longer have a consensus among the members of the jury. The trial will continue.
Objection!
Objection, sir, as I drink from my wine glass. And then proceed to throw it, or crush it in my hand. Could it seem churchly of me to drink from my hallowed chalice moments after raising an objection? Only to crush it in disgust? Pray forgive the discourtesy. Lord Van Zykes? It seems I must retract my earlier remark. What do you mean? I mistakenly credited these jurors with intelligence by describing them as insightful. Oh, are you gonna call them dumb now? Oh, you gonna call them dumb? Yet we have just witnessed them falling for a cheap trick performed by an Eastern entertainer. Eh?
Whatever do you mean?
Objection, I say. I haven't tricked anyone. Everything I said is the truth.
Indeed. Stalewart juror number 5 was undoubtedly repairing the road, as he claims. I believe you said it was a good 2 yards of the pavement which you had excavated, sir.
I get the feeling he just does it for show. Because, I mean, look at him. He's the Reaper of the Bailey. He's got to keep the name up.
That's right. Took me the whole day and they paid me a measly tuppence for it.
Now, my learned Nipponese friend, tell me. Do you have any notion of the distance that 2 yards represents?
Well... If I'm honest, I don't really have a clue, no.
2 yards is a little less than 2 meters.
Less than 2 meters? That's not much at all.
In other words, a distance readily vaulted by anyone of moderate vigor. Would you not agree, my stalwart friend?
Eh? Me? Well, I can't say you're wrong, no.
What?
All right, CB, have yourself a good night. Thanks for stopping by. And did you, perchance, erect a sign to prevent pedestrians from passing the site of your works?
I wouldn't dream of it. What a waste of time. No coaches would have had a hope of passing anyway, and we just turn any gentlefolk back when they come. Kids just jump right over us all the time.
The accuser is no gentleman as far as I can see. I have little doubt, however, that he could spring over a 2-yard trench in his meanderings around town.
Is that true? Is it?
Well, yes, according to this paper that I have, the incontrovertible truth is that the books just purchased by the accuser were found at the scene. There can be no doubt that on his way back to his lodgings, Mr. Natsume walked down Briar Road. Crushed in a single sentence. And, old man...
Old man? You can talk!
You say that around 5 o'clock on the day in question, you slipped and fell on Calabash Road. Pray, was there a suspicious-looking Nipponese behind you at the time?
Oh, I can't say as I remember. You don't remember?
How about a wager, my learned friend? You say it was this old man that the accused saw, but I would lay 1,000 to 1 against you being able to prove it.
Am I back again?
Order! Order! Lord Van Zykes, explain yourself.
My lord?
If you had such a trenchant argument up your sleeve, why in the world did you not proffer it during the summation examination?
I wanted to give this young foreign student the sightseeing experience he no doubt came for. I wanted him to see for himself how the opinion of the jury is so readily swayed.
I'm being learned and taught.
But my hospitality has its limits, and they have been reached, I feel.
Whoa! Uh-oh! The cape's coming off, everybody!
So, my learned friend, today's sightseeing tour of London is now over.
What are you talking about? Where did your cape go? It just, disappeared into the aether.
My lord! The prosecution requests permission to call its next witness to the stand.
Granted. Bailiff, bring forth the witnesses.
Its next witnesses? Mr. Naruhodo, do you not remember? We've been told on several occasions that there were eyewitnesses to the incident.
Yeah, I remember. One of them being a Scotland Yard policeman, no less.
I'm afraid that's likely to be the prosecution's next witness.
All right. No matter who Van Zyke brings to the stand as his witnesses, and no matter what they say, I believe in Soseki-san. I know he's innocent. He is innocent. The big eye. And I'll keep believing it to the very end. Until this battle is over. What? Oh boy. Those are two characters, alright. Oh boy. Witnesses, please state your names and occupations for the court. Sure. Oh.
Constable Rolly Bates, sir! Nothing to report on the street, sir!
Oh. What the heck?
And I'm Mrs. Beat. Patricia's my name. I'm proud to say I'm this young town hero's wife.
Okay. What's the story here? I'm so confused.
Well, in truth, we've not been married long. In fact, we celebrated our first anniversary only the other day.
Man, Rolly, I guess you also didn't get enough sleep last night, too. No, it was your husband I was asking about. He seems tired. Hardly surprising. Whilst being an honorable occupation, patrolling the beat is the most demanding work in the world. Oh, really? I'm sure I've heard that before, actually. Indeed, apart from rare days off, our gallant officers trudge some 20 miles a day, you know. They patrol boarding houses and pubs, collect taxes, survey the streets, check that meters are reading true. And they're responsible for keeping the streets clean, and lighting and extinguishing our streetlights.
Wow, there are a number of items on that list that don't sound much like policing duties at all.
Well, I wouldn't just be falling asleep on my feet. I have collapsed long ago. Mood. But it goes without saying that a policeman's primary duty is the apprehension of criminals. Even when he's off duty, a constable is expected to investigate and resolve any crimes on his beat. Now then, for the London Bobby is a manner of honor. I just like how he's chewing his lace. And a man of slumber. On the day in question, this man and his wife were walking down Briar Road in the opposite direction, and they witnessed the incident as it occurred. Is that not correct, Mr. and Mrs. Beat?
That's right, sir, isn't it, Rolly?
Ooh.
Constable Rolly Beat, sir. Nothing to report on the street, sir.
What a great witness he's going to be. Cut the music! Very good. I'd like to hear your formal testimonies now, please. You will tell the court exactly what you saw on the afternoon of the incident.
Yes, sir.
Oh.
Witness's testimony, what the witnesses saw. I was our wedding anniversary and Rolly was taking me out for a meal. There was no time to change after work. Anyway, two silhouettes appeared out of the fog on the pavement in front of us. All of a sudden, one of them just collapsed on the floor. Then the other scattered something before running off. We ran straight over, of course, and then went for help at a nearby police box. It was definitely that Japanese man in the dark. Rolly and I both saw him as clear as day.
No opinion, no say from Rolly, but okay.
Well, this is extremely compelling testimony, I must say.
Extremely? Really? Oh dear. This policeman and his wife are claiming to have positively identified Mr. Natsume at the scene. If their testimony is true, the alternative course of events that you established in the summation examination will be squashed. It's death knell, in fact, because that alternative was never viable in the first place.
Oh, what an unfortunate bechancing. And on your wedding anniversary, too.
Oh, I know, but I still managed to go out for the evening with my man. I thank the Lord for that. Gosh, the life of a London bobby sounds very hard indeed. Indeed. However, this cross-examination will be over in minutes. You may well have time to rest this afternoon.
So what do you mean by that?
My learned friend, the witnesses saw the face of the man fleeing the scene. They are testifying under oath that it was without a doubt the accused, Mr. Soseki Natsume. And one of these witnesses is a policeman, no less. So, you appreciate the gravity of the situation, I'm sure.
Except that the man's so tired his wife has to do all the talking. Enough preamble. Counsel for defense, commence the cross-examination, please.
Yes, my lord. Oh boy, it's the cross-examination. Oh God. Excuse me. Jesus, I don't know what it is with me and all these burps lately. But I am gonna say, guys, that is probably where we are going to end things for tonight. Because I've been voice acting for about 4 hours now, and my throat definitely needs the break. So, to everybody who has joined in on the stream, who supported in any way, shape, or form, to all those who have chatted and who have watched along, thank you all so much for another great stream and for coming out today. Hope it was fun for you guys. It was definitely fun for me, because I'm really glad we're in deep with the trial now. I've been waiting to get into this. Before you go, though, I do want to check just to see if there's anybody I know right now who may be streaming. You know what? I'm gonna send you guys over to Sakura, one of my very, very good friends, and she is actually streaming some Pokemon Legends Arceus. There she is. Alright, there we go. So, go over there, give Sakura some of your love, guys, and until I see you all next time, which will probably be tomorrow, I'm not too sure. There might be some plans that might come up with friends tomorrow. It's kind of in the works right now, so I'm not sure if I will have a stream. But until I see you all guys next time, have yourselves a great night, have a good weekend coming up, stay safe out there, especially stay safe out there, and always drink water and mask up. Please keep doing that, please. Alright guys, say hi to Sakura for me.